man is not a hero, he's a criminal.
You know, I think I'm kind of a hero and a criminal, but that's for you to decide. Hi, everybody. It's your buddy Admiral Teague. It's good to see you out there. Crimlon! Crimlon! Crimlon. How are you doing, Crimlon?
Is it Friday yet?
It is, in fact, Friday, and we are getting into the slack part of the day, even here on the East Coast. Guys, friends, pals, buddies, I need you to do me a favor. This is the most popular show on the Admiral Teague Network. We found our audience. Hello, Germ. Germ, there's a pass for you if you want to join us. It is in the House Un-American Activities Committee message group. I would love to have you here with me. It would be great. Let me tell you something.
Germ.
This is Friday. Yesterday, I saw Revenge of the Sith. It was an incredible experience. And also, I would like to thank everybody who has joined my channel. Do you know how many people I have now as subscribers? You will be up soon. Cool, sure. I got 2,400 people to go. Another 100,000 to come. I want 124,000 people. I got 2,424 people. 24. I think that I got to thank everyone who has joined me. And if you're here now, these Thursday shows can't be announced. They can't be listed and they can't be promoted because what happens is we get attacked. So we have to come on at the last minute while the attacker is engaged and their computer is busy with all three of its mice running to run his terrible program, which, as I look now, is a indeed terrible program with 4 terrible pundits on it doing a shit job. But let's talk about what's going on here. We're going to have Gerb soon. We have tons of stuff going on. We had to skip a show last week because it was so insane. The last 2 weeks have been so insane. I only just heard from Appion. Appion and Rocco the Brave have thanked me for reaching out to them in this time. It's terrible what happened to their channel. If it can be done to them, it can be done to anyone. Although, you know, we all know who I suspect did it. And let's talk about why I suspect that most of these things come from the communist belief crowdsourcer. This is why I believe it. Are there 9 million suspects? Well, that's what he's counting on when he does this, right? But there's only one person, Crimlon. There's only one person who jumps into any conversation about me to say, hey, he gets bot stormed because he deserves it. It could be like Admiral Teague. It would be communist belief crowdsourcer. Hello, Lombardi 1969. Yeah, no, he finds a way to insert himself into the conversation to say that, like, bot swarming me is good, just, and right. Is it any wonder why I suspect it's him? He never misses a chance to call it good, just, and right and say that people should get in on it. He encourages it.
Talking about Xi Jinping?
The Xi Jinping of YouTube would be the communist belief crowdsourcer, aka Mark, aka the comic relief, crusader. I would be comically relieved if he could crusade his way to finding a fucking job instead of attacking and hassling me all day. But one thing he'll find out is I'm so much better at shooting back at him than he'll ever be at attacking me. And that damage control and slipping on ice is my specialty. You've already forced me to change careers. I got nothing to lose. I'm going to stream you into oblivion. You can steal my watch hours. I am doing so well during your show that I am just going to take all of yours, get the ones that you can affect, make uploads, and when you're gone and you lose your monetization and your little cult is over, well, then you know you'll have no one to blame but yourself, because you are losing watch hours right now by defying and fighting people who were once your friends. Can you believe I helped that guy get his 4,000 watch hours? But that doesn't speak to him having a bot swarmed channel. That his concurrence and that his channel members are bots. That doesn't speak to it, guys. I would like to get into double digits here. Last night we were doing great when the attack happened, and what we were talking about was the two different flavors of Star Wars out there today. I think it's time to start today's poll. I'm curious about people's opinion of the movie Revenge of the Sith. Krimlon, are you familiar with this fine film?
Only just a little bit.
Only just have you seen it a million times, like everyone else, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, could be. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of things happened between when I saw it in theaters and VHS and DVD and Blu-ray.
So you've seen it a good deal of times, though.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so here's the question I'm going to ask. Revenge of the Sith is merely the best prequel? Because we're not going to get into sequels here. Merely the best prequel.
Yep. I would agree.
Well, but the thing is, the next question takes it higher. You ready? Original trilogy quality. Or how about this one? What's better, original trilogy quality or better than better than Return of the Sith? Or better than Return of the Jedi?
Return of the Jedi. Well,
it might be.
I think I'll be
You've got sentimental cast in that.
I'd say it's close up in there. With the originals, I'd say between that, a lot of the prequels, weren't all that great. Looking back on them now, they were a lot better than what I remembered. The first one, goodness, episode 1 was not the greatest, and I still kind of cringe at watching it. Some of the writing was pretty bad, and young Anakin was pretty cringy.
That was a really bad mistake.
Yes.
Let's see. We got three here. Let's see. Merely the best prequel. Better than Return of the Jedi. At least of original quality. Not such a great movie. I guess is the only thing left to add. Give the only fair option left to give people, right? So tell me what you think of these choices.
Episode 3 is about the closest you could get to the originals.
It might be better than one of the originals. Okay, so here we go. We've got merely the best prequel, better than Return of the Jedi, at least of OT quality, not such a great movie.
Agreed. I think even episode 2, I would say at least half of it was pretty good. I really wish they wouldn't have pushed this whole cringy love story stuff out of it, but I could see kind of why they did it, but too late for that.
Okay, yeah, you know what? The love story in episode 2 in Revenge of the Clones, what could they do was sort of my feeling on that one.
Yeah,
you know, what could you do? The heavy lifting of that love affair had to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to happen nonetheless, so there wasn't really much you could do about that, but I guess they could have made it less cringy.
Which one? Revenge of the Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones, yeah. There's an Attack of the Clones where it just kind of got a little cringy with the whole love story.
Okay, so the poll's live. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You're up to movie 5. You're going to make 6. You've decided 7, 8, and 9 aren't going to happen at all. And you go back on that one, but that doesn't matter at the time, right? You're up to movie 5. You've said you're going to do 6. You've got 5. You've said you're going to do 6. So as you roll into movie 5, you know that you have kind of gone a bit too far in a few places in movie 1 and 2 of the episodes, at least. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 were banging. People liked them. Now, episode 3, episodes 4, 5, and 6. Episode 6, not as well regarded. Episode 6, well regarded. Episode 3, not as well regarded. And they're sort of mirror images of each other. I, for one, found that ring theory of writing to convince us that Star Wars was being written brilliantly to be one of the biggest laughs of all time. and they compared it to Tolkien, and it just didn't match up. It was just nonsense. And hello to all out there. Do me a favor if you can. Now the show's kind of getting going. The bell has gone off and notified people we're live. We're doing our best to struggle to a respectable number here. What I need from you guys, I need your help and power. I need you to tweet out that this show is live on X off the browser. That will wake up both YouTube and X and bring people here. This is a YouTube only show today, and we're up against some people who have been very ruthless and very, very outspoken in the fact that they think that bad things should happen to this show, and that they will do anything they can to encourage, help, and give comfort and aid to the people who want to silence my voice. Who knows why? I guess it's just the rainbow warrior that is the communist belief crusader wants his woke agenda spewed onto the world. It's a real shame, ain't it? What are you going to do, though?
Well,
So, some people are not born in the body they wanted to be born in, and he's just taking it out on everyone. Is perhaps one way of looking at it. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
room, just to let you know.
Germ, hey, welcome, Germ. I did not hear the pop. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? So we are talking about the experience of I just saw Revenge of the Sith, and we've got a poll that's live now for everybody to take part in. So here we go. And it looks like the winner so far, now it's only got 5 votes, but that's a lot to jump out at. Guys, let people know we're watching, that we're out there. Please help me get this concurrent count up. Although usually we do well by the time we're on for about a half an hour. We're only on for about 16 minutes, so we'll see. So right now, very quickly, merely the best prequel. That's not a really terrible thing to say, is it?
Yeah, that's probably where I would put it.
You better than Return of the Jedi is where I would put it.
It's kind of hard to overwrite. Yeah, it's kind of hard to overwrite the originals.
Yeah,
I think 1, 2, and 3 are 1, 2, and 3 are true. No, no one wants to see the part where the Ewoks had traps built out of nowhere and beat up and kill millions of stormtroopers. And we hear how strong and formidable the stormtroopers are. Return of the Jedi.
It's less than 50 stormtroopers, and they had been planning that attack for over a year.
Wait, hold on. It is an entire legion of his best stormtroopers.
No.
Yeah, but at the
It's
time,
a
They're in a
of
different
men.
part of the planet? Did they attack somewhere unexpected?
It's about 50 stormtroopers. It's a legion of mostly non-combatants.
I have sent. Wait, hold on. 2 seconds.
well, you
I have
just said
sent an
legion.
entire legion of my combat engineers, prefabricated housing builders, and luxury casino makers to the surface. Your
Isn't-
Pretty much.
friends are walking into an Indian casino, a Guardian casino.
How many are in a legion? I
2,000 in the Roman terms. A Roman
And that's
legion
gonna
was
pretty
2,000.
much be the operating capacity of that base.
It takes 1,950 support troops for 50 combat troops. No wonder the Empire lost. I, for one, am all for the Empire, staying in control, by the way. I thought that the Galactic Republic having a comeback and the Galactic Rebellion winning, I thought that was probably the worst thing that could have happened to the galaxy far, far away. Things looked like they were going pretty well. Hey, Sithdan, good to see you, my friend. Guys,
Hey, Dan.
we really need you to tweet off the browser that we're live. There's no way to promote these shows. And of course, when you tweet out that we're live, you need to tell people it's us, because what happens here is we cannot put the sticky version of the URL in there. That's part of how we get attacked. It takes them a little while longer to reconfigure the URL if we polarize it correctly. But they did find their way around it last night. It is really, Germ, is it crazy to think that someone is behind an attack when every time there is one, they find a way to the conversation about it to say that it was right, just, good, and should continue, and that all good people do it to you?
Yeah, that would be a pretty standout evidence that they are behind it.
Would you say that you've taken a step forward from the 9 billion other suspects in the world who have a smartphone?
Yeah, just a little bit.
And you have said that this is right and good and should continue, and it's the fault of the you've blamed the victim, and this is someone that you have victimized by lying to. You are conspicuous. This person, the comic relief crusader, is conspicuous for lying to me, fabricating a false group chat, disseminating it, trying to get Stone Loki and Snowdub to attack me by telling lies about them, and basically it blew up in his face. His 700 subs left in one day. He says they weren't bots. Well, he doesn't behave like he has to control the esteem of real people. He behaves like a real lowlife by constantly attacking people. If someone says, man, I was watching Admiral Teague and it sucks that he got bot stormed, communist belief crowdsourcer who sits in a crowdsourced home in his crowdsourced, I love that he calls it a workshop. Shouldn't it be called the hobby room, right? His workshop. That you guys paid for him because he was in such bad shape, with his crowdsourced computer and his crowdsourced microphone next to the crowdsourced car that he has that he's supposed to take to his job. He has that. He has all that going for him, but he's going to sit there and take shots that it's right to go after people. Yeah, no, Snowdub's my friend, exactly. So he's just stirring up any shit he can. Basically, if you get caught up in the Comic Relief Crusaders bullshit, he's judged you to be mean and bellicose and dumb like him. Did I ever tell you about the time he got upset that that the diary of that Anne Frank's books had been removed from grammar schools? Grammar schools. He was upset that Anne Frank's books were removed from grammar schools. Now, I could come up with a principled reason why, couldn't you? That you would say this, whether or not it's true. You might have a principled case. It's not a mountain anyone wants to die on. It's a debatable book for children. But there's a principled case to possibly be made. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Anne Frank is more of an eighth grade level book.
You don't want it in grammar schools, but a middle school book is better. Yeah, it's a middle school. So the Diary of Anne Frank was being removed from grade schools. Now, this is a horrible story that's true. It's a very sad and true, brutal story of inhumanity. Now, this really upset communist belief crowdsourcer, and he started going on a rant about how it was wrong to remove the Diary of Anne Frank. Do you guys know why? She wrote his favorite book, Frankenstein.
What?
You heard that correctly. You heard that correctly.
What?
You heard that correctly.
I thought
First of all, he went on at length about how Frankenstein was his favorite book, and so we're like, "Where's he going with this?" And all of a sudden, he launches into an Anne Frank thing, and it's like, so at that point, you can't say Anne Frank. You're like, "Are you confusing Anne Frank with Mary Shelley?" And he's like, "Huh? It's my favorite book. Anne Frank wrote Frankenstein," and I'm like, "No, Anne Frank wrote the diary."
Blind, Deaf, and Dumb?
No, that is Helen Keller. Anne Frank wrote.
Anne Frank.
Yeah, no, Helen Keller wrote Frankenstein. Anne Frank wrote Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Helen Keller wrote wrote Sound and Vision. According to the communist, how would you say something that dumb and then boast that you're homeschooled and you homeschool your kids? It's like generational stupidity is about to intensify. Generational, like things that you got taught wrong by your parents, like there's 29 letters in the alphabet. It's going to come back to haunt you, that 2 and 2 make 5. You know what? Your mom might have been nice to you, but she was wrong about that. But let's get to the matter at hand as far as pop culture. We have some really bad Star Trek coming our way. It's looking like pretty much a disaster. This Star Trek that's coming your way, it is Strange New Worlds. And I guess for them, are they calling this season 3? Does anyone know? Because their season 1, hypothetically, their season 1 is a season of Star Trek Strange New Discovery, right? Because they show up at the end of season 1. We see their ship and them. And then in season 2, all we do is hang out with them. So season 2 of Star Trek Discovery is season 1 of Strange New Worlds, whether they admit it or not. Which means as long as the Enterprise of Strange New Worlds exists, that means that the Discovery existed. They have extensive lore wrapped around the battle with the Romulans that ends the part of Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Part 1. And the Federation takes full blame for getting attacked by and defending themselves from the Romulans, and full blame for some planets saw them on a radio telescope and reverse engineered warp engines from seeing it. You know how the way that the primitives in Papua New Guinea invented jet engines from seeing jets? Same thing. That's in their lore. So how you could have Star Trek Discovery without having Star Trek Strange New World? How you could have Strange New Worlds without having Star Trek Discovery as part of the problem? I don't really know. I don't really know. Have you guys
it doesn't
seen
doesn't
this
matter.
quality
All
program?
that stuff is all that stuff is not legitimate Star Trek. Matter of fact, if Gene Roddenberry wasn't alive when your show started, it's not legitimate Star Trek.
Are you saying that, like, say, like
TOS,
Voyager,
the movie, and TNG, they're one thing. Voyager, DS9, they're their own spin-off series. Enterprise is a spin-off series, and all this other stuff is they are
so
not.
TOS in
none of
like
them
2
are
years?
connected. None
What
of them
about
are
the end of
connected.
What about the end of TNG, where he starts off but is not there for the whole thing?
He died, I believe, in season 3, so
3.
I'll
But I
give him
think he'd
credit for the
written
whole
it.
series.
Give him credit for the whole series because you believe that he was a good enough hiring master, that his people were doing a good job. And maybe later, when they wanted more to do their own thing rather than Gene's, it got into like a weird. Because I feel like what you said about all those shows is true, but it's not like they were always bad Star Trek or they were never entertaining. In fact, some of them were very entertaining. Deep Space Nine is a really entertaining show.
Yeah, but it's not classic Star Trek. It's not Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. It's someone else's interpretation. It's
He does
freaking new
not have.
Star
He
Trek.
doesn't even have. Yeah, he doesn't have a piece of any character. Maybe Chief O'Brien and Worf when they get there. When
Yeah.
Worf gets there, I mean, Chief O'Brien was kind of like a non-character under the Roddenberry regime. He
Yeah.
doesn't sing his song with Captain Maxwell till season 4 or 5.
Yeah, they're good in their own right, but you just can't lump them in with the original stuff. There's not the same themes. There's not the same pretty much anything to it. DS9 is heavier on the drama. Voyager
It's a little
is
soapish.
Yeah, Voyager is a freaking soap opera. Look at 7 of 9's tits. And that's pretty much
They
the
are
entire
great.
plot of the season.
Are you saying
Yeah,
they're not great?
They're great. Don't you dare.
they are great, but they are not the basis for an entire television show.
Yes, they
I
are.
beg to differ, but I mean, maybe not a Star Trek show. How about a
It's
show
very
about a
sci-fi-ish.
You know, it would have been a better show if we could have had a spin-off. What if 7 of 9's fantasy was to go to the holodeck and be a stewardess who liked to sit by a pool in a bikini when she wasn't flying in a very sexy 1960s stewardess outfit? What about that?
I'd watch it.
That would work, but not for basic television.
She was only in one movie I
Nowadays.
can think of, too. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of Jerry Ryan movies, but the only movie I could think of I saw her in was Down with Love with Baked Apple Face Zellweger. By the way, I don't know if you could show some of these things on YouTube, but let's just give it a shot.
You're
Oh,
fired.
nope, that's not it. I always do a bad job of sharing these screens. Let's see if I can figure this out. I saw an image that you kind of need to see it. It's kind of incredible. You know what? This is why we need traffic bollards. This is why we need traffic bollards. That is scary.
Looked
That
like a
is,
fun ride.
yeah, that's a pinball crash.
That lady had no clue that was coming. Well, I think what happened was someone got sideswiped, the second car lost control, and then just sort of like sideways slid. Like, what's messed up is like, who's responsible for what happened to that woman who I cannot imagine survived? Someone's grandma. Someone hit someone else, and then that car started fishtailing around. Like, the guy who got hit may not be wrong. Unless everyone was speeding, it's hard to say who was wrong in that one. Terrible. But you know what? The funny thing was, it's Texas. I had thought it was New York. It looks like the street near me. It is real bad. But wow. Traffic bollards. Can we get some more? She was in Dracula 2000 movie as one of his vampire brides, if I remember correctly. Which chick are we rewinding to talk about?
That's Jerry Ryan.
Jerry Ryan. Oh, maybe.
She
The
does
only
have
movie
part in very low level part in that.
I remember her having a medium-sized part in the movie Down with Love with Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger. And I was like, wow, Star Trek people and Star Wars people, if only they'd use Jerry Ryan as the lead for this movie instead of Baked Apple Face, I could enjoy it. But I cannot, I do not enjoy Baked Apple Face. I don't like Renee Zellweger. I don't know where you guys are on her.
I can't even picture her.
She totally transformed.
When she was younger,
5,000
yes.
troops in a Roman legion? Was this a post-imperial legion or a Republican legion? That's a lot. I mean, I can believe it.
Yeah, Jerry
think
Ryan
he's
was
right.
in the movie The Kid also with Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah, she was the love interest in that.
Does she have
appeared
small
for. She's maybe on screen for about 10 minutes in that one.
Like, let me ask you a question. Are there movies that we're talking about where she's young and doesn't have pubes?
Nope. Most of the things I'm thinking of are after Star Trek.
1991, Nightmare in Columbia County.
That's kind of a little bit before her Star Trek show.
Yeah, because
The weirdest is when you see Back to School.
Like, 95, something like that.
You ever see Back to School at Rodney Dangerfield and it's got Dax in it and she's totally flat chested?
I remember the movie, but don't remember that.
You don't remember Dax because even though she looks exactly the same in the face because she didn't get anything done to that, she's flat chested. She's good looking. She's got a great figure. She's got a sporty body. I think she's supposed to be a swimmer, but the thing is, she's really flat chested. And it's funny. It's just like you see season 1 of Deep Space Nine, and you're like, those fun bags are going to be giant next year. And like, if you watch Back to School, which is also the best Robert Downey Jr. movie, you're going to be like, wow, this was like Boob Job 1.0. There's no way from 25 to 28 she suddenly got that well endowed. You know, she was all the way there already. So see Back to School, and you can see her looking pretty natural. And then I guess the hardest thing about Terry Farrell, aside from how she makes me feel from the waist down, is it's kind of gross to know that she was engaged to, of all people, Mickey Rourke.
Ew.
Yeah.
You seen
On the
that
one
Russian?
hand, ew, but like a couple years later, let's say she's only been with 1 or 2 guys in the meantime, had time to like clean out that Superfund site. Like, think about all the stuff she's good with from dating him. It's like, I'm in the Mile High Club 25 times. 3 times with a threesome. You know what I mean? I mean, what has Terry Farrell been up to? She immediately becomes a lot more fun, but a lot less sexy. You're like, ooh, It's like it goes back
Mickey
and
Rourke
forth.
has that effect.
Well, I mean,
does have
Mickey
that
Rourke,
effect.
but Mickey Rourke wasn't all that bad looking during the 90s. He looks
wasn't.
horrible now. He looks like a monster right now.
You're right. The transformation is after they broke up, and she's done with him by the time she's in the middle of Deep Space Nine. I think she said they're all on Howard Stern, like year 3. And they're like, you see, like Howard Stern's like, you seem like you're kind of the person who would just be home working out, being boring. And she starts laughing really hard. And he goes, what's so funny? She goes, for 2 years, I was engaged to Mickey Rourke. And everyone was just like a hush fell over the room of shock. And then people were like, think of the things you were down with. The same thing happened when Melissa Gilbert admitted she had been engaged for 7 years to Rob Lowe. What kind of shit was Missy Gilbert down with? How many threesomes was Melissa Gilbert in? It's disturbing.
That's extremely disturbing.
I mean, go Rob Lowe. It helps. Oh, by the way, I got a report last night about the bot swarm attack. All right, so they said the views were legit. They cut them in half. There was the 105 I said there was. And it's a good show last night. Check it out. You get to see a few screaming meltdowns. What have we here? Oh, we have Mickey Rourke's change into a middle-aged Jewish woman. Yeah, on the left there, looking a bit like Don Johnson, young, handsome. He's got the pale pink jacket on. The only difference is Mickey Rourke probably could beat you up, and he doesn't look as much like Simon Le Bon. And then now, wow. Now, his nose is the way it is because he decided that he would risk his acting looks by being a boxer. He's that stupid. Mickey Rourke was not a smart man. And hey, 52 of you here right now. If you guys are for real, because we have these strange waves of engagement, and it looks like maybe even as many as 205 watching now, if that's correct, do me a favor. Just hit the like and follow. YouTube has informed me that these strange waves of very high engagement are actually legitimate and that you guys are there. So do me a favor, give me something to negotiate with, or give me the peace of mind of not having to negotiate. And go ahead and, you know what, take our poll and like my stream. My goal is to get to 30 likes. And I would say somebody seems to have a second device that they set up, huh? I'm going to bet there was a very long gap of no talking on that other show while this was set up. It only took 40 minutes for them to get the withering beam on us. But, whoa, think about it. Mickey Rourke paid money to look like that. Guys, any thoughts? Crimlon.
Oh, he kind of looks like Leatherface.
Resolute Sure.
Yeah, he paid a lot of money to look like that, and all of it went to his meth dealer.
He is such a weird and whacked out guy that I honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not positive that he has a meth dealer. I'm not positive.
He looks so
325 watching right now. Do me a favor. Again, hit those like and follow buttons. You know what? Take the poll if you're really here. Show yourselves. We know that once the URL is loaded in, communistic belief crowdsourcer can pull this off at any time. And it doesn't matter. We'll still always be on when he's on because I feel like doing it. And I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'll tell you exactly why I'm going to do that.
Because I can.
So whatever, somebody's wasting their time bot swarming us. The good news is YouTube sees right through it and it fixes the algorithm in about an hour. Second of all, I do my due diligence after every show. I don't care. I'll just get back onto the chat and I'll clean up the apartment while I have a little chat with YouTube. Where last night they verified the numbers and said what happens is a lot of people watch the show and just don't open their browsers. So open up your browser and give me a full-on view that they won't be able to pull back. Wes Cagle, welcome to the show. Wes, we got 325 people on.
Oh, good Lord. You sure? You sure about that?
No, not really. Not really.
Yes.
I would say this. Well, I mean, you know what? We went 4 for 4 before Communist Belief Crowdsourcer was able to return fire on this one. So he's had plenty of time to get ready to try to dispel the myth that it's anyone but him. He'll still go out there and say swarming me was right and good and proper and encourage more people to do it, which is the same thing as being responsible, until he says that it's wrong and it shouldn't happen and he wouldn't do it to his worst enemy, which would be me, by the way. That he's part of it. So fuck you. You've normalized it, if nothing else. But we know it's you. Anyway, we're talking about the different things going on, and one of the polls we have up that's live right now. And if you're out there, guys, please take our poll. And we'll talk about 1923 soon enough because I gotta wrap my mind around this one still. I think I finally am there. I'll share it with Krimlon in a moment. But as far as our poll goes, we're up to 14 votes. Jump in there and vote, all 325 of you. Wow, and hit those like and follow buttons, guys. Please give me those likes. So, merely the best prequel, 57%. Better than Return of the Jedi is at 7%. I think that's supportable. Of original trilogy quality, as far as I'm concerned, I would have a really tough time picking between 2 and 3. But 1 is also true. But the merely part, you know what I mean? It is the best prequel. Better than Return of the Jedi. There's no cute factor in it.
There is no way it's better than Return of the Jedi.
We have young
teddy bears are not
taken out.
Teddy bears are not. Jedi is the best of all 6 movies.
Well, I put Jedi at number 2.
Well, you really like Jedi. Is it because of the throne room encounter?
You talking to Jerem, yes?
Yeah, sure. Oh, wow. And over on the Packleds have 44 watching. So, you know what? It looks like what happened was when you turn on the bot swarm machine, you bot swarm yourself as well. There is no way he went from 8 to 44. Okay, so Communist Belief Crowdsourcer has exposed himself. He turned on his boosting apparatus, and it's so unfocused. And we are like about 40 short of the usual harassing amount. So there you go. But it looks like he breached his own warp core. Jerem, what do you think of my theory?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So he turned on his boosting technology. He is boosted. I am boosted. So then the question would be, why am I being attack boosted and him being favorably boosted? You know what? Maybe you should learn how to operate your computer thingy there, communist belief crowdsourcer. Maybe if you bought things with your own socialistic money, you know, this guy can't get by on Canadian lifetime unemployment. What a snowbilly. But, all right, so we have the logical problem with Return of the Jedi. Explain what it is that makes it better. Is it the sentimentality of the original cast? Is it because one follows a terrible movie and one follows a great movie? Is it because it was the last gasp for 18 years? What is it? Tell me, make your Return of the Jedi case. I really want to hear it.
Because it's basically completing the story. It makes 4 and 5. It's the payoff for everything up to that point. You finish Darth Vader's story, and you actually have a setup going forward. 3 is okay, but it doesn't hold up to the original trilogy.
It's not as good as even any of them?
I would put it behind all 3 of them, yeah.
I mean, I realize we have what's considered a franchise low with with Attack of the Clones, but I would point out too that wasn't always that way. That movie had to re-fail. That movie was a breath of fresh air after the Phantom Menace. People did not start to admit they liked the Phantom Menace until they saw it so many times that sentimentality set in. Something I don't see happening to the sequels. Anyone think the sequels are going to benefit from the sentimentality factor? I can't.
And there's only one that actually. I mean, I know people give it guff. You know, a lot of problems with it. It's just a remake of New Hope. I didn't mind Phantom Menace. I enjoyed it. I actually very much enjoyed Phantom Menace. Jedi, I didn't finish watching. I walked out of the theater and I refused to watch Soy Woker. So they're garbage.
Wait, Phantom Menace or TFA?
The Force Awakens. I'm sorry, I meant the Force Awakens. Yeah. Yes, yeah. 7. I enjoyed 7. I enjoyed 7 a lot. So
here's the thing. I saw Phantom Menace in theaters and I was confused. It was tonally inconsistent with other Star Wars. The only thing that made sense to me, and hello, Lectanon, and hello, Read by Nature. I'm sorry I didn't see you there. It's good to see you guys. Let's see. what are we seeking vengeance from this time? You know what? We're showing people who champion, encourage, and commit bot swarms against this channel that they too can be counter streamed, and that we don't need to cheat or have a bot army to do it. And you know what? If you are feeling confident that your subs are not bots, you know what? Come at me, bro, and let's see what you can do when we take away every single human that's watching you and reduce your watch hours to the same joke that your scripts are. But that's why we're seeking vengeance. But we are, of purpose, having a pretty good conversation doing it. We're talking about how the revenge. Now, the Andor thing is what the hell is there to talk about? Either you're okay with it or you aren't. And maybe we'll mention it in a minute, but Revenge of the Sith, something that, like, I mean, no one wants to give Disney money, but does anyone think it's wrong to go see Revenge of the Sith one more time? Guys?
No.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong
perfectly
with it.
fine.
Yeah.
But I'd rather see it here on my 60-inch than go pay $25 to see it in a crowd full of freaking children.
They didn't, okay, so they didn't charge top flight money for it. It was like $16. It's 21 here, right? So it was $5 less off the bat. It was all done really well. The sound was re-engineered really well. It was always well engineered. It was not as loud as the first time I saw it. I think movie theater sound systems have caught up. The nuances were there with the sound like I never heard before. This was one of the best sound design movies I've ever seen in my life. And guys, hit those like and follow buttons. We'd like to get some new people to join the channel. Why
Yeah,
have 2024 when we can make it to like 2,500 just on this stream? If this is a legit number, like the people at YouTube keep telling me. Maybe it is. You know what? Even if it's not, we have to remember some of you. Hello, Cocapelli. Hello. It's good to see you. You like the Phantom Menace because it gives a new perspective on different cultures in that universe or galaxy. I hear you. I hear you on that one. And let's see. You went Wednesday, and gosh, the theater was chilling. Yeah! That's the one thing I wanted to say. I went to see Snow White and Sam Wilson Falcon Man, and at those theaters, there were like maybe under double digits there. Like it was me and like 6 people. And by the way, this was the first Disney movie I saw this year that didn't have the same 6 seats sold out with no shows. I'm sorry, 4 seats. Every Disney movie I've seen this year has had the same 4 no-show seats sold out in it. And I've seen them in different theaters. They buy the first 4 seats up behind the entrance when you walk in. Not the aisle seats, like 2 in. Like good but not great seats. Like they leave you with the choice ones. And I think what happens is after the theater hits a certain amount, they release those seats. It's just to make it look like people are going.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, the movie I saw, the theater I saw Captain Wilson Falcon Man in was like maybe 11 people. Maybe, might have been 7, right? Like the funny thing was, like, I'm sitting there and I pull out like phone and I start like typing away, taking notes during the trailer, and I'm looking around like trying to get an idea of who else is there. And there's a dude also, he has a tablet and he's taking notes. He looks at me, I look at him, and we just kind of nod. It's like, there's the other YouTuber. And it's like, so that's who came to see this fucking piece of shit. In Revenge of the Sith, it only played in one theater that held roughly 400 people. There were about 65 to 70 people in there. They cheered at different appropriate times throughout the movie, and they applauded and stood up and cheered and waited to hear the entire soundtrack of the song at the end. And when the names of the prequel actors came up, they cheered for Ian McDiarmid, they cheered for Hayden Christensen, they cheered for Natalie Portman, they cheered for Ahmad Best. Ahmad Best got applause. Everybody was thrilled to be there. Everybody was happy. And by the way, I'm seeing it again. I don't know what to tell you. Like the crowd participation, 1, it was 5 times more people than were at Snow White and Falcon Man combined. And 2, there was reactions at this movie. There were no real reactions, but groaning and stuff like that at the movie for Snow White. Cocapelli says, paid actors? No, I think what happens is they're not actors. It's that they booked the seat. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me rewind this one. You went Wednesday. The theater was cheering. You and your wife by the 2 handicap seats in the back, surrounded by the bars that sit next to each other, we feel like kings and queens. Oh, I know what you're talking about with that one. Why do fans hate us? Wait, ha 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 ha. You're serious? Ha ha. Okay, I get you. All right, now you see what you're saying. What I saw Snow White 2025. I was on Crimlon and Oldest Gamer, and some other people wanted me to see it. Miskatonic Madman was in on it too. They prepaid for the ticket and they called me out to go see it. So I went and I reviewed the movie in my usual style and I gave it my full attention. And I just want to say the one thing it really did was make me wonder if Paulie the Latino Slant is a communist. How did he not get freaked out by that opening song about being a communist?
He's
Anyone
a
else have a
Californian. He's been dealing with that since he was born.
So what are you saying? It just didn't set off any alarm bells where they were like, Marx and Engels give us what we want. The rich people, they'll all die. I mean, what the fuck did he think that song was about?
That's the entire West Coast for the last 40 years. At
I mean, it's
least.
a pretty song. It has a great beat. Come on.
I'm going to admit, if this song had been normal, yeah, like a kid would have sang it. A kid would have enjoyed singing it. And guys, hit those like and follow buttons. The goal is to get the 300, but we'll take 30. Where are we at right now? Hey, 89. It is real. So the wave of engagement's real. Welcome to all of you. I hope you're enjoying the stream. There's a poll that you can take part of right now, and it is Revenge of the Sith is merely the best prequel, better than Return of the Jedi, of original trilogy quality, and the last one is not such a great movie. Here are the results in order. Merely the best prequel is killing it. It's 70%. It may not be overcomable. Better than Return of the Jedi. Only 6% of people thought that. I am with those who say that. Of original trilogy quality, here's the problem. It's better than two of the original trilogy movies. And not such a great movie, 17%. This is the way it works with Star Wars. It's Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, and a bunch of outlier movies that kind of fucking suck. Phantom Menace is not a good movie. It's a fun movie we enjoy.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
fun time. It's a fun time. It's unapologetically fun.
Yeah, it's meant to jump you back into the expanded universe of Star Wars.
It's also a little bit cynical because what happens is, without needing it, we put a child star in charge as Anakin, and we have him running around doing all these, Jedi adultish things, including romancing an older woman, although she's like 14. The thing is, 10, 12-year-old Anakin doesn't really work, and we could have started with Hayden Christensen and everything would have been a lot better. And we've all seen the video where George Lucas is forced to, and by the way, guys, if you just got a membership, it's from Crimlon, so thank him, anyone who just got a membership. You saw Blacked in America, and everyone at the end of the movie was live streaming on their phones to their own Twitches and YouTube's lol about how bad it was. Yeah! Honestly, there were other people there who were doing social media. There were other streamers at Captain America. There was like 2 or 3 other streamers at 2 or 3 other streamers. I can't kick Crimlon. Crimlon, can you unpresent Mickey Rourke so I don't have to see his tiny little face? Otherwise, I pull a kick move and I don't know what happens to you.
Wow, but he's so pretty.
Oh, thank you for getting rid of him. God, he's. Now let's see what happens if I remove myself from the studio. That didn't fail. Okay, so Blacked in America. Yeah, it was really bad. But the thing was, did you sense the defanged nature of it? And now this has been on the high seas for a while. Have you been cruising, Germ? Have you seen this on a cruise? This movie, Blacked in America?
I tried, but I got through maybe 20 minutes.
What did it for you? The really choppy, crazy, unbelievably incoherent fight with Giancarlo Esposito? Was that the end for you? Because that's where I would have left if I could have. Yeah, if I could
mainly
have left,
the scenery,
I would have left.
It looked like
he was uncanny the whole time.
Yeah, it looked like they were filming on the stage for a high school play.
What happened was they tried to do. The best I could come up with is the fight scene came late and either had to be done in the volume or was done in the volume originally with too much confidence before they got feedback that people hated the volume. The volume, for those of you who don't know, is like a room full of HD TVs that you can film on where they can provide any background, and it looks as real as it looks. And usually it doesn't look too real. Think Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder is pretty much all the volume, right? I think a lot of these Disney TV shows where it looks kind of weird and a little out of focus and uncanny, especially She-Hulk. That was filmed on the volume as well. So a lot of this movie was filmed in what's called the volume. It's a very special green screen, HD TV, fake background kind of stage. Don't know how to describe it. I'm not technical enough. I haven't been there. But it is a big fake room that can be anywhere. It's a fucking holodeck for movies, okay? So they did this thing on in the volume, and it just never looks right. But then here and there with the reshoots, they're out of money and stuff. So when they're in a real place, like the room is worth about $11 retail. It's like a $2 chair from IKEA that you bought at fucking Goodwill. And like a couch that's just like, maybe someone made the couch out of cardboard. So the whole room is uncannily fake looking. That's the part you're talking about, right? When we do go somewhere real, like on a sound stage. And by the way, the exterior locations always look fake. We're talking a sound stage. Am I right? It's like the realest we get is a sound stage. Grimlon, did you ever bother seeing this movie that you forced me to go see, this horrible fucking movie?
Oh God, no.
It's like I just enjoyed your pain. It just checked out. Fuck that.
Yes,
Locked it on.
Yeah, I wanted you to suffer, not me.
Tickle my Pikachu. I'm surprised. Okay, let's see another one. Oh, here it is. Look. Hot for Annie. All right. Ooh. Oh, wow. So they flipped the meme. This is the meme that is from Attack of the Clones, where it's like he says something and she has a reasonable interpretation of it, and Anakin just stares her down. Then Padme repeats the reasonable interpretation, and he with fear and alarm. So they've reversed that meme and put it on Padme. And really, like, even though it was 14 and like 10, was it already too weird? Was this something they never should have tried? Guys, tell me.
It did come off a little weird, but that kid come off a little weird all the time.
You're saying that kid probably wasn't a good actor?
Yeah, the dialogue wasn't great, but he sure as hell didn't help.
Should he be allowed in Disney Star Wars so that he can get his life back together just because they suck anyway? Well, we're Team Jake Lloyd when it comes to putting him in Disney, right? Is he in? He's not locked up right now, is he? I thought that Drinko Drivo went away. That Drinko Drivo was like 3 years ago. You don't do that much time. He didn't kill anybody.
I'm pretty sure he did more stuff since then, though, too. He's been in. I've seen mugshots of him that were not from there, that were more recent. I think he got in trouble again.
Does he have methods that are closer to meth ODs?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he's got substance problems.
Jake Lloyd, you were a talented kid. You have something to make money on. Your autograph alone is worth money. Just calm down, get it together, and get some help. Nobody hates you. It's not your fault it didn't work out. And we liked you in Jingle All the Way too, right? Didn't we, guys? Right? We liked that one too.
I think that a lot of people did send him a lot of threats. There were a lot of Star Wars fans that really did not like his character, so they were threatening him as a kid.
You know, that's too bad because he did do his best, and that was the performance George likes. You got to remember, George Lucas does not like method acting. Oh, we got questions here. Hot off the presses. All right, let's go to the comments because I can see they're on fire. Let's see. Okay, guess you said couldn't buy out the seats this
USA
time.
ID.
No, you know what it is? This movie theater hit like 60, 70 seats. And I think somewhere around 20 is when they release the seats that they hold on to make it look like there's no one going. Because there's nothing less encouraging to the movies in 20 minutes. You open up your phone app and every seat's available. So they act like there's a few people going to the movie until it hits a certain amount. Then they just negate those seats. The thing is that we never hit that amount, so those seats showed as sold, and they're in the same strategic area of two different theaters. It was the same cinema, but two different theaters in that cinema. Only way to put it. It was a multiplex, right? So there's always 4 seats sold. There are 2 seats in from the aisle, so that the aisle seats are still available above the middle entrance into the theater of the particular theater I go to. Always in the same place. And there's no way the same people want the same seats in the same part of the same theater that aren't aisle seats everywhere. And this was the theater with the mice from Snow White. So on the way home on the bus, I started to have a meltdown. And when I got home, I stripped naked in the foyer of my apartment and threw all of my clothes into a garbage bag. Then I took a shower for a really long time. Then I ran across the street to the laundromat and dried my clothes on super hot for a really long time. And now I just wonder if I have the Hansa virus.
This
I
is
live
New
in
York,
New York.
right?
It's new, exactly.
Well, isn't that what you're
Jake-
supposed to do every day?
Poor Jake Lloyd is not available to do Disney Star Wars because after his prison sentence, he is now staying in a rehabilitation center for mental disorder.
He might be a little
Ooh.
mentally ill. You know what?
Is that where this meme came from right here?
I would just say by the time we get to Revenge of the Sith, I would tell Padme, try spinning, baby. That's a good trick.
I mean, I figured based off the meme I'm currently looking at, that would explain a lot with mental.
If I have it right, she's not that old yet here, right? Oh my God, RRTNZ with a generous $5 New Zealand super chat. My 2 cents. Return of the Jedi may be silly in bits, but the performances and resolution to Luke Darth's story is far more satisfying than anything in Revenge of the Sith. That is a fair thing to say. Like, I'm not going to the mat over this one. Here's what I want to tell you guys. My 2 favorite Star Wars movies are Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, mine too. I think we have them reversed though.
Yeah, here's the thing. I am so excited for the fact that the story is about to begin when I see Revenge of the Sith. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I had been also, Wes Cagle and I are the same age. Star Wars, the original movie with no modifications, had been out and not re-released when we first heard the story of what happens on Mustafar to Vader. I don't know if you heard it, but I did. That he gets thrown into a volcano was the original way it was put. Remember that story, Wes
Yeah,
Cagle?
I heard something about
George
this
Lucas
too.
said it in an interview. Yeah, it's like,
I think I might have even read about it in Starlog magazine.
yes, it was like it's something. Well, it was like a George Lucas interview. It's like,
Oh no, they threw him into a volcano.
and if you're here for the first time, please hit those like and follow buttons. It would be great to gain some new subscribers. 327 people watching, 60 to 80 of them probably real. We'll find out later. It doesn't matter. They say that if you don't have the browser open, it doesn't count as a view. So if you are watching and the browser's not open, go ahead and open up that browser. And my gosh, over there in the Pac-Led freighter, led by Optimus Prime, the transformer, who's leaking fluid. They have 42 people watching out of nowhere. It seems like some bot fuckery is on the loose everywhere. And one is to cover oneself in honor by like, look at me, I did this. And the other one seems to be to like a discreditingly high number of viewers. But we'll find out. Bravo, the spinning trick joke. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. We have them all day. Let's see. That's so messed up. Adults were sending him threats and writing a bunch of reviews to a 9-year-old. Yeah, I mean, I don't condemn what happened to Jake Lloyd. He should have been left alone. And if he had his problems in vacuum of what happened, different. But that isn't too cool what happened to Jake Lloyd. He was just a kid. George Lucas was wrong for not starting out with Hayden Christensen. Anyone want to tell me if they think Star Wars would have been better with Hayden Christensen? Oh, here we have another new one. Obi-Wan said you were killing younglings. No. That youngling was injured. I was simply putting it out of its misery while testing the tensile strength of the youngling's head. Well, yes, there was a second youngling, and a 300th, if you must know, but that's because I simply couldn't believe a youngling's head could be cut off so easily. Ah, by the way, every Disney show
legitimate
has really
excuse.
hurt this. You know what? Let me just ask you this. In the movies, when we saw it at the time in 05, it seemed like the most deadly masterstroke of all time. Every Disney Plus show and every movie is Order 66 now the most failed military operation in sci-fi history? It got very few people, not even the younglings were killed. I mean, Reva? We have we have a rant here that looks like we got people ranting on about Silver Surfer and Fantastic Four. We're gonna do it. Oh, we got more memes here. We're so grateful that you saved us, Anakin. So you're gonna buy my mom freedom, right? That was a question also that could have gone to Samuel L. Jackson, because he's got the small change for the Jedi. Like, he's got the loose change and he can't go like break loose some other kind of money to get her. Germ, is that a plot hole, or is it just me that they don't go and get Shmi? She's simultaneously generating chosen ones with no husband.
Originally a plot hole, they did plug that with a comic.
What was the solution?
One of Padme did send one of her agents to Tatooine to try to find her, but long story short, it is unsuccessful. A few people died.
Okay, so we try in extended lore. All right, tickle my Pikachu of surprise. You know, Detective Pikachu would do that for you. And let's see, let's see if I can find the rant. So, what was the last buyout that was empty seats? Ms. Marvel. Well, Ms. Marvel, I didn't see. No, the buyout with the two buyouts with the same empty seats in the same position in two different parts of the same movie theater, two different cinemas or whatever, two different theaters in the same cinema, were Snow White and Captain America 4. Had the same 4 seats sold out in the same place. I think they buy out a few seats and guarantee the movie theater that much money to pay like the minimum wage to clean it up between showings with one person. I guess you throw your soda at that screen after a while. I don't know how you handle the anger. But at Revenge of the Sith, people were cheering and stuff. I don't know. Anybody here want to tell me, like, the first time you saw Revenge of the Sith, Jerem, you took most of the ride. What did you think of finally seeing it end? The final ending, the second ending, the prequel ending, whatever you want to call it, in Revenge of the Sith as it ended. Were you at least feeling like you saw a good movie? Is it a good movie?
It's definitely a good movie. When I saw it come out originally in 03, I believe it was.
05.
And people were cheering back then too.
Yeah, people were. Were people surprised when they said you're the Sith Lord to Palpatine? Did it go through the theater?
No.
That's only in New York where people are either trolling me or that dumb. Grimlon, when you saw Revenge of the Sith, how did you feel about it? Did you feel like this was like kind of the ending they'd been building up for and a worthy ending? Because I sort of did.
I think the ending was pretty good. I really liked the extended fight scene. I mean,
Me too.
Just the transition to him becoming evil was really good. Now, I mean, the questionable part would be when, Amidala died and the babies and all that stuff, and then the screaming at the end of, Vader transition to Vader. But I guess there's
no
not
in
much
that
you could have done
scene
about
was
that.
fine because it's not changed. That's how he wanted it. I like that he force crushes all the things in the room.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I like the smoke moving when he takes his first breath of Vader. He does well what he did wrong in Phantom Menace. Anyone want to agree with this? The way he interwove the end of Phantom Menace failed the way he interwove the end of Revenge of the Sith worked. Whether you love that movie or not, the interweaving of the ending story threads was absolutely an incredible feat of editing and storytelling, and very smooth and linear with a lot of symmetry and a lot of just call back and answer, and seeing the inverses of these people, the birth of the twins, the creation of Vader, simultaneous, the death of Padme. I thought that was done really well, whether or not you thought it was, story-wise good.
Editing wise, it was very good.
Very well interwoven, right?
Yeah, the story, all the stories besides the point.
Well, some of the story, right? Like, for instance, we'll deal with Padme just dying in a minute. By the way, you never bothered with She-Hulk. Good move. The problem is She-Hulk bothered with Daredevil, and this is what I'm going to say. It has nothing to do with the Daredevil show. Because of what happened on Disney Plus, and because this show moved to Disney Plus, no one wants to watch a show about a guy who has She-Hulk's herpes. Anyone?
Radioactive
Germ?
herpes. Sounds delicious.
Yeah, that
Wes Cagle?
probably did help
I ain't
kill it.
touching that.
You know what? The Sydney Sweeney partially hidden banner is just, it's too tempting for everybody. We'll just put space up for a little while. I'll get Sydney back in a while. Yeah, that was a little too crazy. And I found it, oh, hey, we're down to like 1/100th of what we had. But something did go on here because as I look, I can't thank everyone enough in the wave of real engagement, as YouTube now calls it. And it's about half real. When you guys bot swarm me, about half what you send my way is real. Maybe that's why he's turning it on himself now. Because it sucks in some real people. The difference is our show is good and yours is not. 92 likes! Thank you! Thank you! I thank everybody who's part of the 92 likes. And as I look at the analytic here, yeah, you know what? The likes and the views, they match. This will get worked out. It looks like what happened here was we did have about 125 people watching us, and 200 was the bot swarm number as I look at the analytic now. And we're not going to back down, and we're not going to be intimidated. And I don't care if it's some transformer loser or if it's the people from the Silver Mountain Corporation, allegedly. In my opinion, it's both. Because as you know, if you live in a place where there's snow, you can have two kinds of snowstorms stacked on top of each other. You got the abusive, low-tech comic relief Crusader bot storm on one level, and then above that, raining down other problems, is the slightly more sophisticated Paramount attack, in my opinion, allegedly, attack bots. And what we have here is two different ways of getting between us and communicating with you, trying to jam up our comms, which we're able to get past that mostly by putting it on subscriber mode. And I thank everyone who has subscribed. And, you know, if you want to be a member of my channel, if you want to fight with us and see you saw what a difference we make. We commanded the attention of that crazy, I don't know if it's an attack or a wave of approval, whichever one it was. We thank you for the likes. And like I said, some people get caught up in these attacks. When we get attacked, it's what happens is when people do it too brutally. Here's my theory. Guys, you tell me what you think. When we get attacked too brutally like this, and it just seems to put thousands of people through the channel in the course of just minutes, it throws us onto page 1 of YouTube, and then we get legitimate watchers is what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, that might be how we pick up some people.
I think that's
Fortunately, YouTube doesn't
probably...
know what they're doing when it comes to placing people on front pages.
They don't. They also don't know what they do when they correct the amount of hours you get. So if I did really earn like 60 hours, I'll lose all of them and I'll only get the after view hours. So if you're coming through later, I would appreciate it if you could leave a comment. It really helps me, and I'll be getting to all the comments people left me yesterday before. The amount of work I have to do to get off a live stream. I have to live stream. I have to pull off, get 2, sometimes 3 other live streams to get the numbers from that what people get from one live stream. Because my opponents and those who want to silence you and me attack all these live streams. But you know what? I will be back. It slowed me down on editing the 1923 final video. I'm not going to get the views on that I would have. But at the same time, that was like, it ended with such a thud. It wasn't the greatest ending anyway. And you don't need me to explain it to you, but I will break it down. And I'll break down what went wrong and how. What really went wrong was Spencer should have gotten home directly from the mafia intervention. Anyone else?
I would have cut out the mafia stuff entirely.
What if he just had the truck and drove the booze all the way to like someplace like South Dakota and then took the train to Montana and changed nothing else? You know what I mean? Got him there in 2 episodes. Had him there for 5 so that Alex could die for a whole episode. and then be out of the story for 2 or 3 episodes while we had a reason for him to start working up his hatred of Timothy Dalton. Harrison Ford was not Red Hulk. He was, in fact, just Harrison Ford pissed off at people asking him about Han Solo and Indiana Jones at press meetings. I gotta be honest, he did channel the actor who played that role first more than he did his usual acting, but it was mostly Harrison Ford for sure. He tried a little bit to be like, what was it, John Hurt? He tried a little bit to be different, but the thing was, it was a decently good performance. It's like, how does he overcome that during cherry blossom season, when everyone's in t-shirts, in t-shirt and light jacket weather, everyone's facing off down by the Potomac germ in Virginia in like April or May, cherry blossom season. So now and later, now and for the next 2 weeks. So April 25th, it's starting about now. Cherry blossom season. The thing that stops him is a lone flake of snow lands on him. That's the turning point of the movie. That's where the plot writes and changes to save our heroes. Think about how stupid that is. Yeah, we don't like the she, her, zim, like Metallics, Silver Surfer, whatever you want to call her. I thought that it was ridiculous to mash up that character who's in about 15 comics for a character that's been in possibly thousands. There's hundreds of Silver Surfer comics, but doesn't he appear in a lot of other people's comics too? There's thousands of appearances by the Surfer, correct?
Yes, and this one they're trying to put in has maybe 3.
Under 15. I thought it was an arc of stories that added up to 15 comics. So 3 appearances? 5 arc stories or something? We could call it 3 appearances.
But it's an otherworld arc. It's not the main timeline arc.
And here's the thing. The Silver Surfer from the timeline you mentioned sometimes will speak out about this other female Silver Surfer in a way about how he loves her and stuff like that. But that lore was already 8 to 10 years old when 07 came out. That version of the Surfer's 99, 2000. So we had been dealing with the fact the Silver Surfer had this love interest and had this thing going on for him for a decently long time. And so it wasn't new or weird or radical. And it also, I don't think, hurt the character that he had someone he cared about who was stuck in this Galactus thing with him. That was done to add on to him, not to make him a better Fantastic Four sidekick, which kind of really what he grew out of more. I thought he grew out of Spider-Man. I'm so much more used to everyone interacting with Spider-Man because that's how you develop your tertiary characters in Marvel.
He comes out of Fantastic Four.
He spends a lot of time hanging with Spider-Man, though. Him and Spider-Man are just
everyone hangs out with Spider-Man.
A lot, right? Is it because they need Spider-Man to lend it? Like, it's honor by association because Spider-Man is just so much more cherished and beloved than some of these other Marvel superheroes?
I guess so. I was never really big on Spider-Man myself, but people seem to like him.
I think he's kind of their merchandise king, and I think he kind of established their universe. I know Fantastic Four is the nexus from which they start building. They might precede him, but Spider-Man was the first thing to really freaking blow up. And I don't know how much you know stuff like this more than me. Did Stan Lee make that stuff up with Kirby whole cloth? Or did they inherit parts of an idea? Because some of that early Marvel stuff is like Captain America was an idea from the original Marvel company owned by other people from before World War II that simply ran out of steam and was sitting around. Unfrozen Cap is Stan Lee, correct?
I believe so.
Stan Lee is 17 when the character appears. Well, you and I both know he's not old enough to have created it. We know for sure he didn't create Cap. He creates the modern iteration and the origin story we have now.
He is doing a lot of the 60s stuff for Cap. I believe his primary credits, his older ones, are the Fantastic Four and the Hulk.
Right. And the thing is, the Marvel properties, they have some value and they have paid for them. So they decide, like, let's take this Captain America character, see what we can do. The thing people don't realize is Captain America was second tier, but they owned him. And while he did come out more or less continuously, there were years that they didn't have Captain America comics where he only hung out with other people who were more popular, like the year that there was more Falcon popularity than Captain America in the 70s. There were times when there just was no Captain America comic. Or Steve Rogers was a character in other people's comics where he was fucking president.
Well, most of Steve Rogers is not Captain America. It's more the Avengers.
That is true.
I think it's like 3-1 for Avengers to Captain America.
Well, Captain. Is it fair to say Captain America only had his own title because he was reinvigorated and reinvented to be part of the Avengers, and then he just kind of became the most interesting because the story was well told?
At times, yeah. The
Fantastic
60s and 70s,
Force.
it was basically Avengers.
Well, here's the thing: Avengers, but especially Fantastic Four, is perfect for the '60s, right? We send them up to space in this retro futuristic rocket, and they come down with freakish powers. I don't know. Where do you
Yeah,
stand?
but
with the
Captain
Fantastic
America
Four
really
there,
didn't
Wes?
stay in that universe, though.
He didn't do the greatest job. We got Chris Hansen telling Queen Amidala to calm down. There we go. We can get everyone in at once. Wes Cagle is stepped away for the moment. He is firing and reloading endlessly at the squirrels and gophers who've been digging up his yard. I know what it's like. We've all been there. Krimlon, where were you with the Marvel stuff? Did it creep in when the movies got popular? Did you have a relationship with it when you were a kid? You were a little younger than the rest of us. You may, in fact, have missed the chance to like really have it be popular. Maybe in that donut hole.
I was a pretty big Spider-Man fan. I loved reading all the Spider-Man comics during the '90s. Um, I had a lot of comics from the '80s during that time period. Um, Trying to think back, I think even during the '90s, I remember the Iron Man cartoon, the horrible Iron Man cartoon that I think about right now. But I was.
Yeah, the erratic is the most charitable way to put it is the erratic Iron Man cartoon.
Yeah, so I'd say I think I was just more infatuated with Spider-Man than anyone else. I didn't really think about the other portions of the Marvel universe until probably a little bit later on.
Yeah, Spider-Man's the most appealing, and Spider-Man is also by far the most well-selling. He sells a lot of comics. I guess he's really easy to get into. He's very kid-friendly. Parents aren't afraid of Spider-Man at all. Well, they might start to be. And I mean, in the 90s, we had a great new iteration called Spider-Man 2099. And I hear that the writer and creator of that is doing really well. I'm kidding. Have you heard that terrible story? Like he's all messed up?
That's pretty much a dime a dozen for those Marvel guys.
Well, this is the thing. You're allowed to want to be a comic illustrator, and you're allowed to follow your dream, just like you're allowed to be a guitar player and follow your dream. But if you were going to be a comic writer, you will make so much less than even the guitar player, because that guitar player can go and replay Hotel California at a bar every week and maybe support himself by playing for 2 hours the same songs and just getting better at them every week because his job is also his practice. If you were a comic book illustrator and you're like 50 and you're trying to pick it up, Comic Relief Crusader comes to mind. His art's shit. He's not entitled to make his living like that. Although you have a right to go out and try to do something with it as far as utilize these skills that you think you have a right to pursue your dream. We've seen for years instruction under a master instructor that he's paid for at the expense of everything else. We've had to crowdsource his life, but he's paid for his art lessons. And he sucks. He sucks. We've seen it. We have looked at Comic Relief Crusaders art for periods of time, and maybe one day we'll pull it up here and just talk. Would the disorgan, like, take your 11-year-old to a shrink, sum up the pictures he draws? I'm not going to call him his frames or his art or his comics. His pictures, what he makes. Do they not end up to take your 11-year-old to the shrink, Germ?
Personally, I don't think he makes art. I think a lot of that's AI stuff.
How about that stuff that was clearly hand drawn and like on loose leaf that was all disorganized and out of proportion and a disarray and a wreck that he's like, here, look what I did. Like he was like, didn't even have the shame to know it sucked. So there's no competence there. He's been at this for years and he has gotten worse because he's sure he's great now. Lacks the competence to be a good host. Lacks the competence to draw well. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna? And I'm interested to know what Wes Cagel's up to. Like, I'm just like, do you think like a hot female pizza delivery chick came to the house and it's just like right now Wes Cagel's like, bow, bow. It's like he's having more fun than the rest of us. Come on.
I mean, I like the thought process.
Crimbod, let me ask you something. Let's say you've pursued a hobby for 50 years and you have subpar, ungifted level. Like, you only want to do it because it's romantic. It's part of your hard luck story that you use to finance your BS. At 52, 53 years old, you're still out there calling yourself a comic book illustrator. You've never illustrated anything. And in your resume, it says, I've been there for CEOs, and it's spelled, I've been THEYRE, no apostrophe, so the wrong form, wrong spelling, for SEAOs. Whoa,
Yeah,
that's a job resume? Would anyone here hire that person?
God, no. He needs an editor.
Here's the job I would hire that person for. You ready? Green glass goes there. Brown glass goes there. That's the job I would give you if you couldn't use
that. May not even be simple enough.
It's you know what? It's a lot of responsibility, but I'm willing to go. I'll try him at it. He would have to fail. Yeah, you know what? We have rehashed everything so many times. Harrison Ford was not the Red Hulk. Yeah, we just talked about that one. Yeah. He did try, like, his performance in that wasn't the problem. It was the movie was just, like, so all over the place. Did anyone else aside from me here, Jerem, you tried to watch it. You saw some Harrison Ford because he was early in the movie. What did you think of his performance in that?
It was bare minimum for him, which is
it wasn't mailed in, though. It beat Rise of Skywalker by a lot.
Yeah. It's a level above Rise of Skywalker. It's Rise of Skywalker is
levels
as low as he can get, and he's higher than that because he is one
better
of the
than TFA as well.
25 actors of all time, so he's gonna have a bare minimum good performance on his part, no matter what
Unless
you
you
give him.
undermine him and fuck with him too much, in which case you can really wreck him up. Which is, we saw what happened in 1929. 1923, I'm sorry. In TFA and Dial of Destiny. In 1923, where he was allowed to be powerful, everyone here, Wes didn't see this one, but Crimlon, Jerem. What did you think of Harrison Ford's performance as Jacob Dutton?
Probably his best in 20 years.
If not more,
I would agree.
right? Yeah, we're talking like Air Force One comes to mind last time he was that powerful.
Yeah, that's probably the last time I could think of a movie that he's acted in where it's actually been pretty darn good. I think even with this last one with the Captain Falcon movie, as you call it,
he's not the problem. He's like he seems like he's trying to do something with it a little bit. Especially the part where he's on Air Force One. You're like, wow, that's creepy. Why put him on Air Force One?
Yeah, he is always technically very good. It's just sometimes he doesn't have that passion when he's dealing with utter schlock.
And they do too many takes because everyone else sucks. Yeah. I've got to imagine that when you're acting and you're used to Carrie Fisher reacting or Mark Hamill reacting, and we don't like some of Mark Hamill's views, but he can act. Especially as a Star Wars actor. He is the best Luke Skywalker that Mark Hamill has ever. Mark Hamill is the best Luke Skywalker Mark Hamill can ever play. I've never seen a more...
show emotion pretty darn well. I mean, his
You can
Even
play
his
a
voice
weaker
acting is pretty
character who you can get a lot of emotion through in his voice. And when he's playing Luke in the first movie, he's playing a weak character getting stronger. In the second movie, he's playing a character trying to find his way. And in movie 3, he's there. He's like, I'm going to choke out these freaking Gamorrean guards. Fuck them. And you know what? I've locked it on really quick as Doctor Doom. Does anyone here, and I'll ask, Wes can answer this one first. Wes, do you think there's a possibility that that Robert Downey Jr. will be all obsessed with the fact that he has to be an actor and not just some Marvel character, and do something kooky like have a Russian or British accent as Doctor Doom?
I don't
I don't know. I think Robert Downey Jr. can play it properly without having to resort to some kind of goofiness.
Oh no, he can. I'm saying,
Yeah. Oh,
do
you
you
think
think
will he or will he not? I don't know.
what I'm asking is, do you think that Robert Downey Jr. is capable of putting his ego in check and simply playing the character that's appropriate, or will he be like, "Damn, I'm back at Marvel"? Because remember, this wasn't supposed to happen, right? He wanted out, so
Yeah.
it's like, "Damn, I'm back at Marvel. Well, I'm getting money." I had an Academy Award once. I was well regarded once. I've been clean for years, and now I'm stuck back doing this. It's going to put me back on drugs. I've got to figure out a way out of this mess. And he does, his captain, his return as Doctor Doom, rather than speaking the way Tony Stark spoke. Not only does he try to be a different character, but he comes up with some version of the Latvian accent.
Yeah. I don't know. I think listen, he
Or
has
Latvian, sorry.
he has no right. He has no leg to stand on to be overinflated with an ego. All he has to do is remember back when all of Hollywood buried him and said, forget this. It was only through the good graces that of I forget who it was. Somebody rescued him, like when Jodie Foster rescued Mel Gibson and stood behind him. I forget who it was. Somebody
She tried to. She more like bullet shielded for him. She took a lot of damage. It didn't save him, but she got damaged from it.
And I can't remember who did that. Somebody did that in the business for Robert Downey Jr. too. I remember, and I can't remember who it
Charlie
was.
Sheen.
Was it?
I think it was Charlie Sheen.
I don't know. There was one or two that actually that basically bailed him out.
Well,
of
certainly the
being an
entire
outcast.
cast of Ally McBeal.
Mm.
Certainly
So
the director and producers from Ally
So
McBeal.
he should just remember that time and remember he should be grateful that he's there. Keep his ego in check and do what needs to be done, and that's it.
See, I see
him.
Robert Downey Jr. walking in like, I have to go have lunch at my club with real Academy Award winners, and if I'm going to play this Doctor Doom, I'm going to bring him a totally different character. And I think you'll get Robert Downey Jr. back, but the thing is, you're not getting Tony Stark, and he's going to deny you Tony Stark to prove he can be a different actor, is my feeling. And again, thank you so much for the $5 New Zealand super chat. And I agree with this to a degree. I like Return. I would say this: you might be right about the satisfying nature, but the more watchable one to me is Return of the Sith. And there's no Tale of Darth Plagueis moment in Return of the Jedi for me. But that's me. That's me.
Well, I put Sith first, then Jedi, then Empire, then Hope, then Phantom Menace, then Clones. So that's my order.
Where's
and
Empire?
The only reason I put Sith so high is because it has absolutely my favorite Jedi duel and music moment, and with Duel of Fates, man. That is just an awesome segment. And the duel in Empire and the duel in Jedi are really good too, but they're not the same. They're not the same.
You know what? It's by the time we get to Revenge of the Sith, I believe it's graduated to be calling Duel of the Heroes, isn't it? Duel of the Fates. It's Duel of the Heroes for that time.
The big fight scene is a mix between Duel of the Fates and Battle of the Heroes.
Battle of the Heroes. Okay, is Battle of the Heroes the choral like Is that Battle of the Heroes?
The one that sounds like a remix of Duel of the Fates, yeah. You have actual Duel of the Fates with the choir, and then the Battle of the Heroes is entirely instrumental.
We have great music for that too. The ten 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 ten. It's so
Yeah.
ominous.
That's the Battle of Heroes main line.
Hello to our Star Trek co-host JT Kirk. We're talking Star
Hey.
Wars. You missed the 350 people. We have like 80, 90 likes. Guys, hit the likes. Let's see if we can get it up to 100. And again, a considerable number of people, 11, 12 of you, more than I deserve. We got hundreds of views. We have 98 likes. Can we get 2 more? Can we get the triple digit likes? Polarize the hall. YouTube has been adamant. People listen to the show for a while without their browser open. Sometimes they jump over and like it and they move on. It's a different thing than this is what they're saying. Now, how they decided that half of those views needed to go away from yesterday's show and what they do to today's show, I don't know. But we'll find out. Oh, wow. This is Natalie Portman in another role. She's kind of cute here. I mean, she's always kind of cute.
Yeah.
But like she's looking very much like Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction on the Cult Fiction album cover, like a DVD cover. I was going to fight your bot swarm, but I had to call my local constables due to some suspicious persons. Seriously? She's like, I don't know whether JT's kidding because he lives in the vicinity of the city in the northern continent they call Detroit.
Yeah, it's a whole city full of suspicious people.
Germ, where would you rather be stuck, New York or Detroit?
Probably hell.
So 45 minutes outside Boston. Gotcha. We were one of America's safest cities until Biden's illegals started robbing homes in gangs. You know, Biden's policies weren't as objectionable as they were weeks behind. But then again, someone showed me the picture of, and if Krimlon wants to find it, the director of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
The director of the disposal
yeah.
of nuclear waste.
God, what the fuck is you thinking? You know what? I mean, it became very obvious that this was a vacuous, empty-headed old man. And I will always, Krimlon, I don't know about you, but I will always be, and Germ, West, I don't care what you say. I know you don't like Biden. But that painting of him, Washington, and Light Horse Harry Lee before the Battle of Lexington Concord, where he said, we will all win and I will be president one day too, and Washington just kind of looked at him. That painting is one of the most, and he was the last founding father to be president. I don't think we should make fun of him. If it's an accomplishment. Yeah, here he is. Thank you, Krimlon.
She is so beautiful.
Yes,
Stunning and brave.
That's not really
Stunning and
really
brave.
we're not really misgendering, but let's stick with they them because we know we have active haters and problematic people who come after the show. So we have this individual, and is that a mustache dyed red or is that just really gooped on red lipstick?
Oh no, that's a
lipstick.
mustache dyed red. He's got a mustache. So.
Is it?
Yeah, he does. He does.
Let's call them.
He must be very popular
Let's
in prison.
make sure we got to keep going with them. Did they throw this person in jail?
He got convicted at least twice.
I don't think
They
he's seen
got
any
convicted?
jail time.
We got to make sure this gets so confusing because we don't know their preferred pronouns. They don't wear them on a sign around their neck. We're doing our best here. We're doing our best. But
Well, in federal prison, they don't allow that anymore.
yeah. We're allowed to say that, and we have to be very careful how we say it and contextually. Like we said, we know we have haters, and one of the things I would just say to my haters is, Mike, you watch every minute of my show so that you can respond to it. It's not very good for you mentally. It makes you kind of like a retard, and it's making your behavior worse and worse. And you know what? It's not going to be long before you start bringing people down with you. You should probably calm the fuck down. But wow, when I see this, all I can think of is this.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
I live in New York. Help.
Hey, just wait. You're gonna get a 4'11" socialist Latina in his seat when it comes up.
She has the only thing that's not totally blood-chillingly frightening about that is that she has tacked more and more towards the center every single year she's been around. That stuff was seemed to be just to get elected the first time. She also, if you'll recall, said she would never cooperate with Nancy Pelosi, and she's just like a lapdog to her now. So, come on, get rid of this freaking person. Oh,
No, wrong button.
Wes Cagle has another picture of the person. This is the same
go back to the
individual.
pretty person.
Is this the same individual, Wes Cagle? My God. My God. Listen, this is not
there you go.
this is not a reassuring.
Yeah, no, I like the little mohawk.
There you go. It's so pretty.
That's great. Yeah. I killed them all. I gotta say, you know what? One thing that was interesting about the large wave of incursion was it was the shortest one we've ever had. It was although the person running that computer who kind of punked us a little bit there might have had their computer engaged doing something else. I would bet at the same time there are problems with the Pac-led ship's flight path. But you know what? It does seem to have been a legit engagement there, at least some of it. The way it fell off, it looks like 200 of it was real, and another 120. It looks like 100. Yeah, it looks like another 124 of it was completely fake. Looking at it now, but like trending back up. And wow, hey, Radioactive, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much, my friend. One thing I want to point: a lot of hosts talk about and flex. You know, they make this and that much from their subscribers. I want to say this: you guys just are the most generous and supportive subscribers. Krimlon, you as well. And, you know, everybody, Wes Cagle, Germ, everyone who gives to me and helps me and contributes to the channel in any way they can. You help us have a voice and an honest, independent voice in what goes on in pop culture. And if you notice, one thing that we don't do a lot of is we don't really get lost in the woods of the most boring, we could still be, there are a lot of people still spinning their wheels on Daredevil. There's a lot of people still doing Snow White. Now I can't get too crazy about this one because I talked about Snow White in the last couple of days, but like people have been like nonstop Snow White in it because it really is the lowest of low-hanging fruit. But you know what? Welcome to the new world. To the new world. Welcome to the new world. Radioactive.
I have a question here.
Radioactive. I thank you, Radioactive. Go for it.
Is this a bad one?
Let's see. Is she bare boobed?
No.
It looks like it. Okay. Oh, they're huge now. I learned to implant and update some memes. You're going to improve their quality, right? Ah, you did, boy. That might be a little much for her, like on that tiny frame, but I wouldn't have minded a little more, like a handful or so more on Natalie Portman would have really even improved her. I'm not saying she isn't one of the most beautiful women of her time.
She can barely handle what she actually has without tipping over.
She is
Not
really
only is
weirdly.
she flat, she is paper thin.
You're so mean. She had cancer in Love and Thunder. She caught cancer for the movie and got healed later by the Disney doctors. Did you know that? So she was able to speak legitimately on behalf of all the people who can beat up like gods and demigods while they have cancer. That was the stupidest. What would they try? Why would you even go there? What's your upside of that one? The cancer hero.
Cancer.
I don't want to think about it. It's touched my family. It's touched my life. I'm not mocking it. Oh, Krimon. That Padme, you never know what she's going to do next.
She's so kooky.
What the one thing I always liked about her though is that she was pretty good with the acting in a role that was just not made for a good actor, and she's still just like she tailored her performances. What was it like for naturally talented, but like only within like a certain window of talent, Natalie Portman to have to listen to that faster, more intensity shit when she's like, "You're breaking my heart."
Faster, more intensity.
You're breaking my heart.
Faster, more intensity.
You're going down a path I can't follow.
Faster, more intensity.
I mean, we've all seen George Lucas on the set. Like, it doesn't seem like a helpful director. And does anyone here think that they missed out by not getting George Lucas's Apocalypse Now and George Lucas's The Godfather?
Directing isn't his strong suit. He's a great writer, great universe builder, but if you want a page of dialogue from him,
Yeah.
maybe The Dog and the Typewriter is a better go.
Yeah. No. Well, he if it wasn't for the editing process, he probably would have ruined A New Hope. So.
Padme, it's over. We have the high ground. After seeing A New Hope, I knew it was going to stretch on for a long time. I realized, like, by the time I saw Empire Strikes Back that I might be 30 by the time they finished this mess. I didn't think it would really end up that way, but it did. And then to have them come back with these imitation Star Wars movies, I saw the re-release of Return of the Jedi not too long ago, and it sucked. It wasn't cleaned up. The sound was bad. This one was cleaned up. The sound was great. It was the littered version with the special edition. I have a funny feeling we're all gonna have a chance to buy the unadulterated Star Wars again. I think it's gonna be coming around. Anybody think that's the next step? We're gonna have access to the original one.
I don't know. I've got my copy of the original untouched theatrical first run of the 4, 5, and 6. So I'm already happy. I'm good with that.
Commie Crusades lady, faster, more intensity.
You'll see the whole set come out on 4K in like 2 years.
Right. And then we'll see like the 4K extended edition with his dumb shit that he added in. You know, the stuff that they cut, while interesting in world building for Tatooine, we get off Tatooine. It was right to cut that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I enjoyed was maybe him looking through his binoculars at the battle in the upper atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
An idea we go back to. We have yet another battle in the upper atmosphere. Mark Harkness says, Star Wars. I do not say A New Hope. Star Wars is the movie I saw. Greedo didn't shoot first. He just... Rocco the Brave I talked to on X a little bit. I bought some behind the movies video game that LucasArts released that had all the deleted scenes in it. I saw some of them. And then came with TIE Fighter X-Wing video game. I want the deleted scenes in the movies. Yeah, there's some other weird deleted scenes. Isn't there like a Revenge of the Sith deleted scene where creeping around the Star Destroyer or whatever you want to call it, they find another hostage Jedi?
Yeah,
who gets
they find the what's her name? The one from the Clone Wars movie. God, what was her name?
Shakti.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Three deaths they gave her. None of which are canon now.
Wait, her death in when she gets killed during Order 66? Don't we see her go down in a blaze of glory,
No,
a blaze of non-glory?
Don't they kill her in the deleted scene?
She's not.
They have a deleted scene of her being killed by Grievous.
Yes.
Of her being killed by Anakin. She got killed in the Clone Wars shorts, and she gets killed in the Clone Wars or in Force Unleashed video game.
Was that deleted, her death in the Clone Wars shorts? Because I remember that she just got tied up.
She's supposed to be dead in it.
Oh,
at least according to I think it's the directors or the creator.
Because I remember they show Grievous ties her up with the cords, and then they find her, and she actually speaks to them. So I don't know how she could be dead.
No, she was crucified.
Rocco,
when you get seeing that part.
We're looking forward to have Rocco on the Star Trek show and maybe visit us during the week when he gets things going more together in a copacetic way. We love Rocco the Brave. Shout out to Rocco. There are so many, and he knows his Star Wars at the back of his hand. There are so many deleted scenes, but yeah, can someone pull up a picture of the chick I'm thinking about so that I can know for sure which one it is? Because maybe I'm confusing Shock T with someone else. We buy back a couple of things that we do in deleted scenes and go forward and do them in a different fashion.
Shock T is the one that looks like Ahsoka.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Okay. Yes. So is it a Twi'lek then that we see shot down by the clone troopers, and that's not her?
Yeah, no, that's not her.
In Order 66.
Yeah.
Does anyone else think that Order 66 is now one of the most failed military operations in the history of sci-fi? Because really, no one got killed.
Oh, I thought they got.
I
They
think
got
they got a lot of them.
Saul
They got the
Guerrera.
important ones.
Saul Guerrera gets the Death Star destroyed. He was pretty important. Didn't get him.
He's
Reva.
not part of Order 66.
Well, he is, right? They're hunting him as part of it. Reva.
Not as
Didn't
part
get
of Order
Reva.
66. He's just a terrorist.
True. Reva. Didn't get her. Trying to think who else they didn't get. They didn't get Obi-Wan. They didn't get Master Yoda. They didn't get a lot of people. They should have probably taken out Bail Organa, but I guess he wasn't part of Order 66. I just think it seems like every time we have another movie, Schrodinger's Jedi. Apparently she is, yeah. It's what that band of Jawas did to her after they found her tied up. That's why she was deleted. Oh my. Yes, that would be the ones that they were on the side of their sandcrawler. It said a Weinstein Company production. Weinstein Pictures production on the side of their sandcrawler. Hashtag Shme2. According to some guy related to Andor Season 2, we're all products of... Oh. All right, let's talk about this one for a minute. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and let's see if you can just get it off the top of your head. What do you think the fastest growing, and I don't know the answer for sure, but I have a pretty good idea. What do you think the fastest growing ethnicity in the United States is? Think 23andMe on this one.
They, them.
That's not an ethnicity. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
a mental
Native
illness.
American.
Don't you
I think it's
judge.
Native American. I think a lot of people who are just Mexican, and a lot of people who are just Cuban, are finding out they had some Native American components. Puerto Rican people as well had some Native American blood, and we got a lot of people now who are like sort of, for lack of a better term, germ. Would Thomas rainwatering it be a way to put it?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And listen, what we found out was that this brutal fact of history. I mean, if we go back, we all have tens of thousands of direct ancestors. One of them was a dick. I'm pretty sure. Jerm, would it bother you that if I told you that sometime during the Dark Ages you had an ancestor who was a real dick?
Well, I could pretty
You
much
wouldn't have liked
guarantee
them
it,
either.
seeing where they're from.
What would I say? What would you say if I told you that one of the primates that you evolved from was a real scumbag? Just real scumbag. Would it bother you? All right, so yeah, we're probably related. We're probably both related to that primate. So at any rate, whatever. If you go back far enough in the arc of human history, bending it backwards, it bends towards injustice, and things weren't quite as nice. And there are a lot of wars, and Europe was pillaged, and there was 100 years war for a reason. It's because people fought for over 99, but less than 101 years. And it was, from what I understand, it was continuous. In fact, there were a lot of times that everyone was ready to call it quits, but they still staged the battle just to keep it going. And I want to applaud the people who did that. But it was still a long war. And over religion, if I'm not incorrect. A 99% rate on 10,000 Jedi is still 100 Jedi. Is it what the Emperor says to Anakin? The Jedi are not destroyed. There be civil war without end.
And it
Right?
was.
Is that? Yeah. So the thing is, it had to be all or none.
But he still
If
got
even-
99% of them.
I check reviewer. So he's saying he bought himself 20 years of dominance, and the only plan that worked was will grow new Jedi to take him on.
That was probably a secondary plan. He knew he couldn't get them all in one shot, so he's going to get the bad apples and turn them loose on them.
Also, what you got to think is when Obi-Wan and Yoda are sitting around on that star asteroid base with Bail Organa, one of the things that they're saying is that, like, you know, like we're fucked for a plan. What does their plan end up being except the same plan that the Emperor had? We've got this force powerful baby. When it's old enough, we'll have it fight the bad guys. It's something, right?
Yeah, that's all they really had because they couldn't do it.
They adopted well, they could have, but they fuck it up. I'm going to right now give you a way that there didn't have to be the OT, but we wanted there to be an OT. But here it is. You ready? Don't send me to kill Anakin. He's like my brother. No, first, I and you will together kill Emperor, we will. Then, Anakin we will kill together as well. They would have won.
No, Obi-Wan would have been a liability to Yoda.
I don't know about that. If Yoda starts mixing it up with the Emperor for a while and then Obi-Wan jumps in late, he could have pulled it. Remember, it's taking all their concentration to keep their force attacks off one another while they're lightsaber dueling.
At the very best, Obi-Wan pulls a Kit Fisto.
So how about both Yoda and Obi-Wan go to take care of Vader first and then come back and double back for the Emperor? At least there's no Vader.
That might have worked.
But they're not very good military strategists now, are they?
Well, what do you expect? They're monks. Would you give your local priest command of a commando team?
No, but I would give the Knights Hospitaller from like Kingdom of Heaven that job. I mean, did anyone see that movie? They were pretty formidable. They could pull it off. And hello, the Trek viewer. JT Kirk is greeting you back. Reverend Burnfried says, but my maker didn't. Yeah, I mean, that's. The guy was speaking in a historically accurate but brutal form and a very pessimistic style, not conducive to selling your movie. I mean, hey, your dad liked grapes too. Like, we're all vintners at heart. I mean, that's not going to do it. It's not. That's like the same problem that why Disney can't own a baseball team. It's like, our fans are Yahtzees. Would you like to be our fan? And it's what's killing their movies. Our fans are horrible. Would you like to be our fan?
Yeah, I got some bad news about that Disney and baseball thing.
Wait, are they buying a team?
They are a significant minority owner of
the Braves, right?
Anaheim Angels.
I thought they got rid of that and got into buying part of the Braves. So the Braves just practice at Disneyland, Florida, and it's a coincidence. And what a drag for their players, huh? And okay, wow. Spell that out again. I'm floored. They own part of Anaheim. I thought that was over.
Last time I checked, which was about 5 years ago, they still owned about a third of the Anaheim Angels.
So not a shot calling amount. That's why the Anaheim Angels were doing okay. Because if Disney full on owned a sports team, if it was the Jets or something, they fail and they have a really, really bad day. And whoa. They fail and they have a really, really bad day. What do? we fire the people in the booth and get 2 strong women who can describe a pick six as the touchdown it is instead of depressing people. You know what I'm saying? That's where we are with these guys. Then with the second loss, they would fire all the coaching staff and replace them with women. And if we make it to 0-6, does anyone doubt that the quarterback would be a lucky female fan who came to the game that day? And if we lost 7-0, if we're 0-7, does anyone doubt that massive fan re-education would start?
Well, didn't you're talking the Jets now, right?
Any football team that they
Well,
own, but if they own the Jets,
you-
that would be what would happen.
You didn't watch the draft then, did you? The Jets redrafted Colin Kaepernick. Dead silence.
You're gonna call.
I mean, they might as well have. That's about the success rate.
He's gonna. Oh, he's over there screaming. He had to mute himself.
Spock.
What the fuck were they thinking?
My Jets will never win.
JT couldn't.
Are you serious?
No.
No, no.
Would you be surprised though?
That's why we're all laughing at you.
I would not be surprised. I accepted it wholesale. I was like, yeah, hell they would. Hell yeah, they would.
They got some Maui offensive linemen.
Didn't they draft
Okay.
a linebacker yesterday?
The Jets draft. They drafted 5 strong women to be their offensive line. But like if the Jets went 0-7, they would get the coach of the UConn women's basketball team and be like, we just brought in a coach with a record of 485 wins to just 16 losses, and the fans are complaining, and they'd be like, but that's NCAA basketball. That's apples and oranges. The problem we have is we heard a lot of the fans yelling anti-woman stuff at our female coach, calling her a bitch just because she's lost 5 straight games and no one scored and we haven't gotten a first down. No one did that to Rich Kotite. And it's like people are looking at each other, remembering how Rich Kotite needed like police protection.
God, the 1-15 season. I was laughing my ass off when you took Rich Kotite. I'm like, good. Now he's out of Phil. You guys can have him.
The Jedi needed to force their concentration and the Force together more. Maybe get into a group, set up camp, and concentrate really hard, like the patriotism enhancement zones from Enterprise. That was fun. The episode Detained was so hard to talk about. I was like, give me 5 euphemistic words for the places where the Germans did bad things. It was like patriotism enhancement zones. I'm like, that's too funny not to use. And that's why I like having a Grok. It's like the other one was what was the other one called? Patriotism enhancement zones. Treason monitoring center. They're hilarious. If there's ever a reason why I would join the dark side, it's Darth Talon. Is this one of these people they're going to destroy very soon? Wait, what the fuck? Yeah. You know what? We're gonna have strong women. They silenced me with the thing about Colin Kaepernick because I could believe it. On his socks, he
would be interesting.
Could you imagine a man whose socks offended an entire nation? Now, Colin Kaepernick was the weirdest of people because the first couple of years he's around, he's playing fairly well, and he has like a 0 fade, and he's trying to come off like Derek Jeter's kind of image. And then all of a sudden, like one off season, he comes back, he's got this sick fucking fro, and you're like, way to go, I love it. But then like he starts talking, and you're like, what's with this fucking asshole? And like as near as I could figure his one off season, he got some kind of whacked out girlfriend who told him that he had to like represent for the other people, and he started listening to like radical like East Coast early 90s rap. Is that what happened?
Something like that. I mean, his adopted parents are white, so it was kind of interesting that he.
I know.
anti-white people real quick.
I don't think
He
he's
had to do
anti-white
something.
person. He was anti every single cop, right? Isn't that basically what it is?
That
More like
too.
it.
He graduated to being anti-white. He started anti-cop, but he had to do something because people started to realize he wasn't actually a good player.
He was an average, if not above average, player. That's about it.
He couldn't throw the
The
ball
thing
15
was to
yards.
to be an above average, even 51% better than baseline quarterback is so rare. Remember, the year before, the quarterback was Tim Tebow, who, by the way, you also would not have surprised me if you told me we had drafted him. Crimon's like, should we tell him now?
I think they were looking to try to bring Brett Favre out of retirement, bring him back.
I mean,
I want to tell you everyone this: when Brett Favre is finally convicted of the things that he's been accused of, I really. Let's just ask everybody around the horn here. Does anyone think that Trump is going to pardon Brett Favre for stealing from Social Security, food stamp welfare?
I wouldn't.
That's
But he has called him a great guy since this happened, and thanked him for being critical in getting him elected. And remember, Brett Favre, as soon as he was fucking indicted and found guilty, but before he got sentenced, became head of Trump for president in Missouri. Like this was a blatant bid to get let go because he was guilty as fuck. He stole from the poorest of people. Does anyone know how he got caught?
His business partner.
No, it was worse than that. His business partner might be cooperating. What happened was they were gunning for the governor, right? They were trying to figure out if he was fucking corrupt. So they're monitoring all his phone calls and it's ongoing. And like Brett Favre's daughter starts college is all that happens. So while she's there, she's playing like field hockey or squash or some shit like that. And they're like, we want to build an indoor field hockey house where they can also play basketball. And we want to call it the Brett Favre Pavilion. And I don't even think it was the school he went to, but they were going to do it because his daughter went there. He was also in Mississippi, and he didn't go Missouri, and he didn't go to like Old Miss. He went to like University of Old Southern Miss Community College for Felons, and it's like a loser college, and but like a real school where his daughter went because of who he is. Like they tried to build a stadium for him, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." And like when they broke ground, like he calls the governor up and gets caught in a sting on the governor, where he's like, "I want X amount of money, or I'll just withdraw my name and tell you and talk shit about you and destroy you." And he's like, "We're on a tapped line." He's like, "When are you gonna give me my fucking money?" And the guy's like, "Are you out of your goddamn mind?" He's like, "I want my fucking money." He's like, "Look, I'll meet you at the billboard behind the old airport in an hour." And like that is as much as they have, except bank transfers and everything else. He was absolutely guilty. He's absolutely convicted. So he couldn't be more guilty. The first question is, will Trump pardon him? I would hope not.
I doubt it.
It is political suicide in the state that he was from, at least. You're going to lose Missouri if you pardon it. Stealing from food stamps, even people who don't approve of food stamps don't approve of stealing from people who need them. Am I right?
No, you're not wrong. I'm not wrong at all.
And like it's one of the least unpopular programs. Like people don't like it being abused, but we're going to talk. This is hundreds of millions of dollars of fraud and abuse by one greedy millionaire who had to steal from the wealthiest. So fuck him. Let's hope not. Krimlon, what do you think? Is Trump that great? He's not going to. He's just going to tell him you're in trouble. You're going to have to be remembered as a jet while you're in jail.
Yeah, I highly doubt he's gonna pardon him.
I think what happens is his instinct might be to do it, but his people will be like, "You look at this fucking criminality. It's too criminal." What do you think, Resolute Germ?
I'm not entirely sure he is actually facing federal charges. In that case, Trump can't pardon him. Because the president can't pardon off state
you're
charges.
right. It might be state related. However, I think the president can pardon anybody, and if it's a red governor, they'll pardon him.
President cannot issue a pardon or anything like that for state criminal charges.
Okay, so it's state fraud because he shook down the governor. But the thing is, I guess that governor will be replaced by his opponent who will not pardon Favre either, will they? they're going to want Favre in jail along with their opponent. So,
No,
wow.
there is such a thing as preemptive pardoning now. So I mean, the governor on the way out can just pardon him before he leaves.
I don't think the evil governor who is telling him to stop talking on the phone is going to let Brett Favre off the hook because he's only in trouble because
probably
Brett
not, but I'm
Favre
just
was
saying
so
there's-
greedy. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Do it.
The preemptive pardoning is going to be the death of our republic if it's not reformed and stopped. I am 100% against it. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on.
Yeah,
If a
it's
few people
ridiculous.
have to get caught up in the wheels of justice to make it right, it's going to happen. We've now said you can have a designated lawbreaker as long as you can write a letter at the end of their presidency.
Well, you also, in order to receive a pardon, you actually have to be
Do something
accused,
wrong.
charged, and convicted of a crime, or at least charged with it. I mean, to be pardoned.
The preemptive part. Well, the preemptive pardon. I think the thing is, they said that, and God, this would be bad for America, but they're going to drag. Ooh, that doesn't work so good. But let's see, if we do this. I like being a Jedi. Good for you. I like the killing part. I mean, he did. He did.
I actually guess all that Favre stuff is civil now, and he hasn't been criminally charged in Mississippi yet.
I think what happened is maybe the governor got in so much trouble and then started pleading that it reduced the gravity of all the other people's charges. But he did what he did. So what will his punishment be? No NFL Hall of Fame, no NFL.
He's already in the Hall of Fame. He paid back $1.1 million.
So's Aaron
to the
Hernandez.
state of Mississippi.
True.
It doesn't. You know what? I don't care. He should have to pay back 10 times what he stole. To steal from the poorest. I mean, the audio tape's pretty damning where they're like, "You realize where this money's from?" He's like, "Fuck him. I want my fucking money." He's a scumbag. Do you think that the only repercussion will be that in every picture of Brett Favre from now on and from every description, it's always going to be disgraced former New York Jet Brett Favre?
Yeah, he won't be disgraced Green Bay Packer. He'll definitely be disgraced Jet. They'll pin that on the Jets.
And Viking.
The sad part is they'll say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, they will. Oh, they will. They will. Disgraced former Jets Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre met today briefly in the prison yard. Both of them are quarterbacking different sides of the prison team, with Aaron Rodgers starting and with Brett Favre coaching and starting as quarterback for the backup team. And he is going to try to become the starter here. They're just talking over some things. We've got plenty of NFL player here. There's Ray Caruth, Father of the Year, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe Ray Caruth is out of the prison for like 6 or 7 years? Did you ever think you'd live long enough to hear words like that? When they sent him away for like a deuce and a half, you're like, he's a piece of shit. Supplying more and more reasons why rugby is a vastly superior sport. Maybe we should have like an American style rugby where, as well as playing rugby, we could make the rugby ball out of, say, solid chrome and shoot it at a very high speed up like a circular alleyway while people, say, like roller skated and sort of played high-lie with El Palute while other people on motorcycles rode around. What do you think? Would that be a sport that people would like? Can we unite the world with that? I'm going to call it
That might
Teague
be a little
ball.
bit of a far sell there.
Going to call it Teague ball.
I'm sure the Russians would be interested in it.
That's why I thought the governor from The Walking Dead was so great. He understood the need for organized, like recreation when he had everybody watching, like people fighting the walkers. He pardoned Kwame Kilpatrick that was convicted on so many felonies that he had like a 50-year sentence. Whoa. Well, like we said, Favre seems to have played the game, paid back the money, and really done a good job of like taking advantage of confusion, administration changes, and like, let's face it, absolute outright carnage on his state level where they went through like 4 governors in 3 years. Because like the governor went down, then the lieutenant governor came in, and I think he mouthed his way out of the job. Then another lieutenant governor was left to try to win the election, and then another governor came in. So it's just been carnage and chaos, and no district attorney to throw him in jail. Then just sort of timed his way out of it. Brett Favre, every bit the criminal that he seems like. It's a good thing that it won't make a difference, and that Trump won't have a say in it, because he could only look bad in this one. Just ignoring him is the right thing to do. Yep, the president can't pardon state felonies, said Radioactive, only federal. There you go. Is that why he had no standing to protest election fraud? Because the state runs the elections? I don't want to get too deep into the woods, but that might have been.
No.
Yeah, good point.
Those just go to state courts.
The chat died on Brave Browser. Damn, I'm sorry. You know what? It's what they do is, like, sometimes they collapse the browser. It's what they do. Sometimes they crush it with the AdSense. If you're here for the first time, please consider joining and following. If you're here later, please consider leaving a comment. We are the Admiral Teague channel. I'm Admiral Teague. Welcome in to all of you. I saw Revenge of the Sith yesterday. It was great. No one's watching Andor, so why bother talking about it? Am I right? Guys, am I right on this one? Andor.
Best show ever.
Who cares about Andor?
Best show ever.
Criblon's playing the shill. No, are you actually watching it? Is it good?
Oh, God, no, I haven't watched it yet.
I was going to think we discussed it.
Good. If you're watching it, you'd have to random drug test screening.
I don't mentally there.
Crimlon is a really, really skilled sailor of the high seas, so to speak. And what Crimlon can do is he can just sit down and, without any cost to himself, watch said show. So when those are the stakes, there's a 50-50 chance that one day Crimlon's like, yeah, it's on, let me watch it. And he might finish it, or he might only get to episode 3. But Crimlon probably will have some interaction with the Andor show. So, I mean, anyone here? West, Germ, Crimlon, did you watch season 1? Because I watched most of it.
Nope.
I didn't.
No.
I have a feeling there's still going to be a cost, and it's probably going to be mentally.
Yeah, here's the deal. Andor wasn't quite as bad, but no show that takes that long to make sense and have something happen should ever be called good, is my opinion. I will not call the show good.
There's a bad premise to begin with.
It was a bloated movie. The movie premise might not have been too bad. When you bloated that movie to the point that you couldn't do anything with it, there was no reason to pursue it, but they kept going at it anyway because they had nothing else. And this was the only thing that people had any excitement about. There's not a lot of regard for the Star Wars product. I don't know. Were you guys aware of that?
Yeah, Star Wars did.
Yeah.
It did. DED.
It almost makes a comeback with The Mandalorian, and then Rise of Skywalker just comes out.
Yeah, KK wouldn't let that happen. She wanted it dead. DD.
Is it time for us to consider whether or not Jon Favreau can run a sci-fi franchise? Because now Paulie from Latino Slant, who I've been critical of a few times, oh my God, this is hilarious. I've been critical of him a few times. Just his takes, not him. He's a good guy, and there's nothing wrong with watching his show. I endorse it. He's fine. But some of these takes that he has, let's see, Padme not having any blood on her shirt shows she in fact did not drink enough that day. Yeah, she was a little dehydrated, right? Might have been ratings related, to be honest. I do
believe so.
Yeah, blood's a really big deal as far as ratings go. I know that in Star Trek 6, one of the biggest reasons the Klingons' blood looks like Pepto-Bismol is because since it didn't look like human blood, it didn't affect the movie's rating. Like, that's a major concern. That'll drop you, what? Is it automatic R or is it automatic PG-13?
Probably PG-13.
I think it's PG-13, yeah.
It's showing blood? Just blood. Automatic. Huh?
Just blood.
Okay.
Well, I don't think a bloody lip, but showing bleeding. That might be what it is. Am I right, guys? Germ, you help me out with this one.
I don't know.
I believe it's profuse
bleeding,
blood
right?
or open wounds.
Right. Right, right. That's why Captain Kirk having the bloody lip in the corner of his mouth and stuff like that, no big deal. But yeah, like, something like what happens to Anakin, even and by the way, that's why lightsabers start to cauterize after the first movie. In the first movie, the first person we see hit with a lightsaber, they bleed.
It wasn't just her time of the month.
Well, the thing is that they it was a male character. Although it was vagina face. It does happen to the character known as vagina face.
Men can bleed too. Come on. That's what I've been told.
Maybe he was a metrosexual, and that gear that he was wearing was like. And by the way, as far as the scene, the grape scene in Andor, I want to see how she was dressed first before I make any judgments.
Oh,
anybody
you're
else?
blaming now. You're victim blaming.
Hey, we're all the victims with that stuff being out.
Germ might in fact be right with that one. I don't know if you can blame any victim except like the people who have like somehow backed this. Although, like we said, Andor 1, it looked like if some damage control and some intelligence had been used, Andor 2 could have been good. Like, how about this? Half as many episodes, same amount of story. Like that story would have been okay if like there was a point in Andor season 1 where he was like, the only way we get into it's like he's like great at crossing borders because he's Mexican or something like that. It was so ridiculous. Like, the only way we get across that river is to put our clothes in bags, and then we have to dress like stormtroopers. And like they go through the stormtrooper orientation, and we see every single moment of it. It is so fucking boring. And that's an episode of Andor. And while it's not terrible, their method of not fucking up their future aesthetic is to put them in a place where there is no technology. So in these hills where all we see is pine trees, after 4 or 5 episodes of them walking around doing stormtrooper stuff till we believe that they're militarily able to pretend they're stormtroopers, we see a TIE fighter fly by, guys. A TIE fighter flies by like 4 episodes into this arc. Then we attack this base that we've been talking about attacking like for 3 episodes. And then we attack it and whatever happens, and we have to kill somebody. I started watching only at the end of episode arcs. The last episode arc, they're in prison. The prison episode arc ended weird, and 4 weeks later, someone said to me, "Hey, what did you think of that final episode of the prison episode and prison arc?" And I gave my feelings, and like, that's not what happened. You missed the final episode, and I'm like, really? That's how exciting it was. I couldn't tell that there was more to the story. The Great Escape plot in the middle of the season, and then Mon Mothma selling for the rebellion to another royal family. Yeah, that was probably pretty good. I didn't see that part of it. I kind of was like, that must have happened during the final arc where I was frustrated because it was so slow. Commander Shran says, boycott Andor, but not enough real Andorians in it. Not enough real Andorians in it. Mark Harkness, good point. You know what? He's blue over that. Andor looked boring as fuck to me. You assessed it correctly. And it's a prequel to fanfic prequel with a dead character. Didn't like any of the characters anyway. It's a prequel to a prequel that's a sequel to a sequel. The arm in the cantina from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, it bled.
This is before they had PG-13.
They don't have PG-13 in time for Empire Strikes Back. That comes from Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom and Gremlins, right?
Yeah, I think mostly Temple of Doom, but yeah, I think Gremlins might have had something to do with it. The thing was, we were pushing it as far as we could, and people probably knew something was going to happen. They got away with that much blood because it wasn't actively bleeding and it wasn't profuse and it was only so much. Here's the thing. I got headcanon on that. You ready? He'd used that lightsaber so much it was no longer cycling properly, so he bled. What do you guys think? Oh, it's Sydney.
Oh, it didn't cauterize the wound as he cut him?
It didn't cauterize the wound. He bled. Yeah, she was not freaked out by it at all. She had no problem with it at all. Rocco says, by the way, I was told by HR, but men could told by HR that men could bleed and also do monthly. Also took a boomstick to the head. I also took a boomstick to the head when they said that. What kind of HR do you have? My God, Rocco. God, no wonder you started your own corporation. God. I would do that too. Yeah. What? I don't. What did I say that was so confounding? I'm not sure. I've said a few confounding things. What's worse, an episode of Andor or an episode of Kurtzman's Strange New Woke? Strange New Woke. Strange New Woke. The Andor episodes aren't that long. They are really boring, but they're not stupid. They're never stupid. And that was the improvement from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, was what came before it. Kenobi was stupid. It was stupid. And then Mando 3 comes out sometime in there, and that is also, it's stupid. Let's talk about Disney Plus Star Wars shows. Starting with The Mandalorian. Season 1, okay. Season 2 is a little dumb. Season 3 is stupid. I'll let my panel talk about the other ones. Book of Boba Fett. Gentlemen.
I can't talk about anything other than Mandalorian. It's the only one I watched. Everything else to me was going to be garbage from the get-go, so I'm not watching it.
You were right about Book of Boba Fett. Krimlon, did you see Book of Boba Fett?
Unfortunately, I did. The only thing memorable of it was the Power Ranger hover bikes.
It was memorably cringe.
Yes.
It was memorably cringe. And also the guy who modified people, Thundercat, whatever the actor's name was, that guy's a Star Wars immortal for being the most ridiculous human being to ever be in Star Wars. He outdid aliens. Germ, did you see Book of Boba Fett?
Yes, I did. And to me, I think the problem was there were 3 people trying to make that show all at the same time.
Yeah, and the only one who had any sense was Tamora Morrison, who said, less lines, cut it down, this is bad. And he was right. Yeah, Andor dies. Spoilers, Jesus. Here we go. And you know what? Because he dies, I've always said Andor should be called As If. Like, as if I care.
Yeah.
About
you know
this
where it's
prequel.
going.
Hey, North by Northwest Kegel with a $5 super chat.
That is not me. I don't know where that one came. Seriously, that's not me.
Read what this
Somebody's
scoundrel has
impersonating
saith. Read what this scoundrel has saith. West Kegel, go ahead. You read the super chat.
Behold, I am Wes Cagel's evil twin, Admiral Teague. Must cease showing copyrighted material.
Is that maybe JT Kirk? Is that maybe Tasha? Tasha, who was that? Tasha.
Data. I'm only going to tell you this just once. It never happened.
No, this
It's
money is
Sean
really
Carter.
it happened. It
It's
is
Sean
it Sean? It's Sean. Sean Carter has a couple of really funny account names, some of which will probably debut as troll comments on our show this week. We have not such an amazing Star Trek episode for Enterprise, so we're going to pick it up all the way around and have like more of a pop culture show so that you have a complete experience. It's going to try to concentrate on Star Trek, so I think maybe you'll look ahead to Strange New Worlds and like a rehash of Strange New Worlds in the past and where we're at in the Kurtzilla-verse. I found out if we call him Kurtzilla, we can't get in trouble. Isn't that, Jerm, what do you think of that idea?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I like this game here we're playing with Andor's pronouns. Andor should be called if then more appropriately end of. Like I said, as if works too. It is 1,000,000% not me. Super serious. Sean was able to speak in your voice effectively. Sean Carter, thank you so much. Behold, I am Wes Kegel's evil twin. Admiral Teague must cease showing copyrighted material. I will never. I will
Almost
never.
got away with it, didn't you?
I got away with it. I totally got away with it. No one can stop me. I am Admiral Teague. And you know what? Timothy Dalton will now talk about my philosophy.
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
And you know why I will show copyrighted material?
Because I can.
They'll never stop me. Guys, you missed the bot swarm, but we have like a really decent count of people here watching. It's very nice to have this many people in the middle of the week. And I don't know, guys, I think we've we've said a few things. We're definitely not going to the 3 hour mark. That ain't happening. We may have a few minutes left in this here. Honestly, Andor is much better than Strange New Worlds. The characters make reasonable sense, and they are decent performances. Yeah, I mean, you said it. Strange New Worlds is not only badly acted, but like the skill of the actors cannot be assessed. Because, for instance, I think they do a lot of swapping around, and I think they do a lot of like something like storybooking, where they're like, "Hey, Dr. Mamangala, walk over to this machine and just press a button. We're going to use it later." And then they're like, "Mamangala, go delete those 200 people we have in stasis. They're all going to die because we can't help them." It's a beautiful day, and like deletes like the hundreds of people and walks away. It's like the inappropriate reaction doesn't help the actor. You know what I mean? Like they farmed it from something else. Like he was just pushing a button to call an elevator, but they had it be fatal. Like it is a bad fucking show, and it's going to shrink the Star Trek fandom a little bit more. And it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for me to get Star Trek related fans. It really is. These two things shrink Star Trek fandom more than anything else. It is when a beloved Star Trek YouTuber passes away, a lot of people just don't care about Star Trek anymore. It kills it for them. And the other one is when Strange New Worlds airs. Germ, what do you think of that theory?
Maybe he stepped away.
You may have stepped away and I missed it. What do you think, Wes Cagle? When we lose like a beloved YouTuber or Strange New Worlds shows up, it shrinks the entire Trek fandom just a bit. Strange New Worlds is really destructive.
Yeah, I refuse to watch any of it. I have yet to watch a one moment of any of the new Trek. So the closest I ever came was to watch those god awful movies from J.J. Abrams. So,
yeah, where a lot of people were fooled by the first one being not good, but like having redemptive qualities to it, where you're like, if someone just picks this up the right way and they get a different writer, like it could be saved.
yeah, the first one is only good because we're all like, oh, you have nostalgia. It's awesome, and I got to admit, it was a good Bones. He played a good Bones character. It was pretty good.
His Bones was good. Chris Pine turned out to be the only person who did full research, though.
Okay, yeah, Chris Pine was okay. I mean, I didn't mind it. The Spock was
he had the hardest role to play.
All right. Characters were all right in the first one. It just was. It wasn't.
Well, I think the characters were all wrong until the third one, but the third one had a bad story and all goodwill was gone. In the first movie, we have breakdown-prone Spock, dishonest, lying, cowardly Kirk, asshole Scotty, and girl boss Uhura. It really was that way in movies 1 and 2. In movie 3, Kirk is brave. In movie 3, Spock dumps Uhura and has no breakdown at all. In movie 3, Scotty is smart. In movie 3, Kirk is brave. In movie 3, Uhura has a normal role. In movie 3, Bones and Spock squabble, and it's fun. It doesn't work. The movie's a disaster. It falls apart. But the characters are only right in movie 3. The movie's a problem. Anyone want to comment on Star Trek Beyond as far as the characters?
I refuse to watch the third one. I watched the first one. I thought it was all right and enjoyed it. The second one, I don't
really
even think
bad.
I finished watching it. I was like, this is bad. So I didn't bother watching the third.
The third one is not a JJ movie.
No,
it's Simon Pegg.
Okay.
And he actually watched Star Trek.
Yeah, he's trying. He understood the characters. He's really trying to fix it. Too much damage had been done. And then also, it happened at a terrible time in his life. He kicked alcohol.
He wasn't 100% on the script either.
No, he wasn't. He had Roberto Orci and Kurt Zilla in there doing damage, because what happened was a Star Trek TV show failed to materialize with the people who became the bad guys and aliens in Star Trek Beyond. So, like, there was supposed to be a Star Trek Enterprise-like TV show with Enterprise-like ships, NX-01 type ships. with Captain Balthazar already and all that shit. That was written. That stuff was filmed for a Star Trek TV show that didn't happen. So that whole thing with the missing ship and Captain Balthazar already and all that and them being the monsters, that was because their contracts were paid and they had to be into something. So when you think about all the things that he had to cobble together to get anything close to coherent, it's a triumph of script fixing. It's just not a good movie. Anyone?
But none of them are good movies.
The thing is, Star Trek Beyond is by far the best because the characters are correct, even though it sucks. Anyone?
Of the
Again,
three, it's probably the best.
Because we don't damage Kirk, right? He's brave. He's just brave. And he's not a moron either. He is so fucking retarded in the first two movies.
He's stunning. He's just very stunning.
He stuns their ride. Yeah, he doesn't know the beast of burden that was intrinsic to their plan to escape. It's the only one where he's brave. He does brave. He's like, I'm gonna rescue my crew. I don't give a shit. And they're like, it's impossible. He's like, I'll die saving them if I have to. And it's like, this is what I want. Spock is in pain and under emotional stress. He stays level-headed and he's normal. It didn't jar and upset and piss me the fuck off. Bones is wisecracking, but actually cares about Spock. It's not hateful and spiteful for the best possible joke. The characters are treated properly, and the reduced Uhura role right for the first 5 minutes. That movie merely has the forced maybe they're gay moment with Sulu. And it's so maybe, and so easily edited out for the Chinese market. I don't know. Jerem, am I right about the characterizations at least being correct?
Yeah, for the characterizations, for the most part, save that Sulu part, which actually pissed George Takei off. Too,
Last
because
cool
he
thing
wasn't
he ever
quite-
said.
Yeah, that was right before he went off the edge.
He said the right thing. He said, I worked hard to play a straight, studly spaceman, and you made him into a gay guy, which fucking is not my art. My art was not respected, to which I say, good for George Takei. That is your right to say about your character. They promptly ignored him and called him homophobic.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing. You call the most openly gay man in Hollywood homophobic.
What do you think of this one? A show called Left Behind, starring, and it's just a talk show talking about current views. It deals with current views on being gay, current views on trans rights, current views on masculinity and femininity, and it's just called Left Behind Opinions, starring J.K. Rowling and George Takei. And like most of what they said pretty much adds up. They might be unpleasant, but most of what they say, it's just like J.K. Rowling's like, well, as far as I'm concerned, once you're born a man, nothing you can do changes it. And Sue's like, oh, so right. All the most successful trans people I know realized that it was just to help them make money. Oh, the transvestites are a much more stable community. Like with all these ideas that were like groundbreaking for 2007 that are like too tame now, right? Would that tell me J.K. Rowling and George Takei's talk show about sexuality and human sexuality and society would not be called right-wing hate show? Krimlon, what do you think?
I mean, they already say that about J.K. Rowling anyway. Especially
And
after
she's extremely left-wing.
Yeah, especially after all the stuff that she's been saying lately.
She's very pleased about that British court ruling. We'll leave it that way.
Oh yeah.
Wes Cagle, what do you think? Would George Takei and J.K. Rowling's talk show about current views of sexuality and current views of sexual identity in society be considered a right-wing hate show if they just went on there and acted like themselves? Wes still isn't back. Wes, are you muted? Oh, there you go.
Well, no, I'm here.
All right.
Oh, it's my.
What do you
no,
think? If we
not
just
muted.
turned on
Yeah.
a camera on George Takei and J.K. Rowling and they were there just talking about how they felt, would they just simply be labeled like right wing haters, despite their views being pretty inclusive?
Well, if you had to talk show.
Hey,
The minute
hello.
Rowling opened her mouth, they'd call her a right wing perf. So, but Decay, that's okay. They love him, so he's their boy. So that balances it out in their mind.
Let's take a look at this channel that has chosen to insult me. Let's go to the channel. Go to channel.
Oh yeah, that.
Comic relief. This person has. Are you using your wife's from October 25th, 2013? You had this sitting around for that long to use it to say that. Listen, unless this person is being openly uncool, let me see what else they're saying here. I don't see anything too bad. Let's let General Teague's random adventures do their thing for now. All right, funny enough, until anything overt comes out, let's just let them have some fun. It seems like it's okay. I appreciate my mods looking out. This one's a judgment call. Guys, what do you think? This seems like it could be okay.
I
Jerm?
think he's a good guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's not overly anything.
Nothing
We're
suspicious
okay with
going
this,
on
buddy.
here. Nothing suspicious going on here.
He wants to see our show. He likes our idea for the show, so we're cool with that. Okay, so General Teague's Random Adventures. Once you're untimed out, we're cool with you. It seems like you're just having some fun. It's okay. It's me, Tom, and I'm just trying to bring love. We are geeks and all love the same stuff. Tom, the Techno Sapien Geek, welcome. He's gone now. Was he just fucking around? I don't know. That channel was 12 years old. Nothing there was that crazy, but whatever. Let's see what goes on with this one. Let's check this channel out. We are seeing some new faces, and that's to be expected, but we got to see what's going on with some of these channels.
Especially now that they're free to come at us.
Are you saying the Packledge show has stopped? Oh, Techno Sapien Geek. I know who you are. This is, if I'm not incorrect here, a panelist from the Packledge talk show. How you doing? It's me, Tom, and I'm just trying to bring love. We are all geeks and love the same stuff. All right, you know what? You're cool. Techno Sapien Geek, between you and me, you're cool. Tell General Teague's Random Adventures if they come back and act normal, it's cool. I don't know what the deal is. I don't think they're in jail. I'll get that. Buddy, are they in jail or are they just timed out? And RRTNZ wanted to take back his comment. I don't know what he was saying there. I'm not going to look at it. RRTNZ has that authority. I trust him. But you know what? If General Teague's Random Adventures seems to be maybe being all right, I don't know. And yeah, like I don't know what's up with J.K. Rowling. It does seem like at the time that like the books were coming out, like 20 years ago, she wasn't that far out of her mind, but she did just get there without doing anything differently, simply by clapping back. Now, she did a good job because she's literate and stuff. She clapped back very effectively at these people, but like she was called a lot of pejoratives for being just anti-trans.
Yeah, it's been for quite a while. It just got more and more into news because she was actually defending herself where no one else was.
Well, I think they tried to take her off her own movie and other shit like that, and she was like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. But as far as her stance, she's been pretty firmly in that. Yeah, she's been right there for as long as she's been in the public eye.
Okay, don't worry about it, RRTNZ. We have some new people. Yeah, I think people are going to be playing a little edgy. Hey, you're back. Okay. That Krimlon guy is awesome. Is this Krimlon's mom? All right, General Teague, just be cool. You're an unknown person here. Like we've had a bunch of attacks. It's not your mom. Okay, listen, we've
No.
had a few unknown people here. I like the name. It's fun. You seem all right. As long as you don't do nothing crazy, you're welcome here. We're sorry. Like, it's sometimes hard for us to read the intention of people. And by all means, please join the channel if you haven't already. And let's see. We got 2,400 people with 24,000 more to go. I want to be adored. We need 100,000 people.
Should I have changed his name from General to General Teague's Random Adventures to Criminal?
Oh, it's you. Okay. I was just like, this channel is really old. I don't know where they're going with this. So it's Criblon. All right. That was funny. Yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I like the Riker icon, the avatar. I'm going to go with it. Buddy Hepburn, good job. Watch it out. That Criblon.
That Criblon guy.
Once I found out it was Criblon, I was fine with what you did. All right, so let's see.
I can't help
we
it.
have had a hell of a show. I want to see if we can make it to 100 likes, though. Let me take a quick look at where we're at with that. Now, we're under attack because the other. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. It looks like honestly, we absolutely once again destroyed that other show views wise. Although we won't know what the views are for this show until it levels out. It was 203 views for yesterday's show, and then it calmed down to like 100. So it's not like it's killed. It's not like we're doing terrible. It's just it's a really shitty thing to do to my analytic. And I'll be honest, if you want to spread peace and love, the best thing you can do is I'm going to say this right now. Communist belief crowdsourcer, instead of always defending and praising and calling for more swarming of my channel, how about you say it's wrong to swarm anybody, you fuck? How about you just say the right thing? You could say, I don't like Teague, but people should stop swarming him. You could just say that, and it would look a lot less like you're the one doing it. But right now, I don't think there's really anyone out there who thinks that it's not you. And I don't care if I can prove it or not. The fact that you're always there defending it and saying that it's great just doesn't help you. That's right. Teague rights are human rights. Hey, gay gamer, what's going on? It's good to see you. You came by yesterday in the middle of a crazy-ass bot storm. Could you do me a favor and add your like to our bunch of likes? We talked a lot of Star Trek today. We talked a lot of Star Wars. And we took a poll. And I think it's time to maybe check that poll and see if maybe we can roll it up and maybe someone wants to smoke it. 30 votes. This does seem to indicate that some of that swarm of people was real. Relatively higher number of people and 84 likes. I would love it if we could get that to 100. Could we please, if you're here and you haven't hit me up with a like, please give me that like. I'd love to have it. And it's good to see everybody here. So just to go over what went on in the show, we talked about Revenge of the Sith a little more at length and how much that was an enjoyable theater-going experience. And it's not going to save Disney if you go see it, so don't bother spiting yourself by not going to see it as part of a boycott, is my opinion. Anyone think that there's a reason not to see it at all? Wes, even you really hate Disney, or even you like toying with the idea of maybe seeing this great movie in a theater once again?
God, no, from my side.
Okay, Criblon, thanks for jumping in there. Oh, Wes Cagle seems to be out for the moment again. What do you think, Germ? Would you consider? I'm not saying you're definitely going to do it, but selling the high seat. Are you going to go out of your way to try to see Revenge of the Sith again? And would the theater experience maybe be something you would enjoy with this movie? Like, you still think it's good, right?
I thought in theaters 20 years ago, so I have a great setup here. It's better than the local theater, so why would I do it?
Okay, I have to say that it was such a great experience. Again, my theater with the mice and the all the other crazy stuff. I found myself coming home completely freaked out, tearing my clothes off in the foyer of my home, putting them into a garbage bag, then taking myself showering aggressively, taking the garbage bag, throwing all the contents of it into the dryer, turning it on high for a super long time, and then throwing the garbage bag into a trash can outside of my home. That's how I felt about sitting in the theater after seeing the mice. Hello, Jason Fawkes.
I don't think I could ever give money towards Disney.
Yo, just wanted to say I don't know what's really going on with the beef and stuff like that. So save us time. Just want to say peace and share the love and don't like stuff. That's all I wish for. Hey, buddy, like, you know what? If you're going to go on that show, that's up to you. And I'm glad that, you're standing up against it. But, like, you know what? Comic Relief Crusader has not been relenting. He has been a nonstop critic. And anytime I have talked about the fact that I've been bot swarmed, which is a verifiable thing, one, he has stood up and said it was the right, correct, and good thing to do. Two, called it a lie while endorsing that it should happen and it was real. So he's at odds with himself. And three, said that I deserved it and endorsed it. So if he's not doing it, it certainly is someone who loves the same things he does. So maybe he should stand up and apologize and say that bot storming people is just wrong instead of endorsing it. Because bot swarming people and fucking up their analytic because you're a douchebag, if that's what's going on, and someone is doing it to me because they are a douchebag, then you know what? You should own it. Or at least condemn it. If he thinks it's so wrong, he can condemn it. I got no problem with his critics, but you know what? Like, if you're standing close to the target, you know what? Things might happen. Nothing personal. And hello. Let's see. And hey, feel free to join the channel. The proof is that he endorses it over and over. The proof is he does not condemn it. The proof is he says it's right and good and should be done. How's that? Where's your proof he doesn't do it? I don't think I need to expand any more about this. Andor. Anyone gonna bother watching the rest of it? Oh, by the way, my Andor story. I missed the last. I missed the last episode of it. I was unaware, and I didn't see the story end, and it was so slow and so inconclusive that I thought him just sitting there in jail staring at the wall was how it ended. I also thought it was stupid that they escaped, but they didn't clone him and Andy Serkis. You should clone Andor, because then Diego Luna can show up the age he is now with no de-aging or anything on The Mandalorian. He's the right age, especially if there's growth enhancement. You could just use him. So they should have cloned him. And why you wouldn't clone Andy Serkis to start him down the road towards making a Snoke clone is beyond me. You had them both in your power. Anyone want to comment on that from a story point of view before we end this one? I thought that it was a stupid, wasted opportunity. Diego Luna can't do anymore. Cloning him puts him into the world of The Mandalorian. And the other guy can't do anything. All right, you know what, gay gamer? Fuck you. I'll show you that you can go away if you're going to come here and make accusations. You're an asshole and a liar, and I told you the deal. I showed you. You can look for yourself on X. That's a stupid ass fucking question. Fuck you. You can see on X where he endorses it over and over. I'm not here to do your fucking research for you and your fucking stooge. Fuck you. Anyway, as I say, this I can't. And by the way, this is why we can't turn on AdSense, but it makes for a better show, right? No commercials, and Admiral Teague just curses freely throughout the whole thing. Germ, what are you up to this weekend?
Have a Overlord watch party tonight with Sci-Fi Sistan, and tomorrow morning, Fist of the North Star with special guest Curtis Shelby.
Cool, excellent. I love Curtis. Really quickly before we go, we had a poll. Revenge of the Sith is 30 votes. Merely the best prequel, 60%. Better than Return of the Jedi, 10%. Of original trilogy quality, 17%. Not such a great movie, 13%. So something like 87% of everybody was down with this being like a really high quality experience. You had your out there, and 13% of people just don't think it's so great. That's fair. That's fair. And by the way, Comic Relief Crusader, next time, come after me yourself on some one of these twerps to talk shit. It's fucking bullshit. Your panel has to come over here and cry to me. You fucking start bot swarming me and your show because your computer can't support both. While you're bot swarming yourself, you are a fucking allegedly a scumbag. And don't send your fucking friends over here pleading on your behalf. What see you say that it's wrong to bot swarm people? I can't show your asshole friend proof of something you've never done. The right thing. You want to see proof? Show me proof that Comic communist belief crowdsourcer has ever fucking done the right thing and said it's wrong to bot swarm people. He endorses this and encourages this. So I don't want to fucking hear about it. And fuck you. Don't want to come here to cause problems, but I'm going to fucking... your guy says this, prove it. He says it all over X all the time. Look at his fucking X, you dick. All right. Anybody else got anything going on? Wes Cagle, what are you doing? Crimlon, you're coming back, right?
Sure. I'll be here.
Wes Cagle is AFK. Ooh, wow. What do we have here? Who is this? Oh, that's Sydney Sweeney. Wow. Is this AI?
That's just a random photo I found.
I wonder if it's real. I mean, she does do sexy photos, but this seems even a little weird for like just doesn't seem within the style she usually does. It could be. They exist. Whoa! See, there we go. The comeback is complete. Yeah, listen, man. Like, I can take some of this nonsense here if you want to advocate that this should be the temperature that you should take the temperature out of it. But when I say it's all over X and you're like, prove it, fuck you. You have X. Fuck you. Oh, you saw The Accountant too? It's an enjoyable action film that relies on chemistry between Affleck and Bernthal. Bit ridiculous in more than a few parts, but entertaining. Yeah, I believe that one too. The Accountant was a bit ridiculous too, but it worked. All right. Wes Cagle will be around. Look for him on Dadman. Crimlon will be here. Germ's got his thing going on that we told you about. We love you all. Bot swarm be damned. Thank you all for the great hang time. All 143 verified of you. And Gay Gamer, get it the fuck together. You're unhidden on this channel, but that timeout was well needed. You were being a fucking blithering asshole. Anyway, when people say the proof is on X and you say show me, you know what? Fuck you. It's there on X. I told you where to find it. Not going to take your shit. I'm not here to listen to you defend your fucking... these people who have a total of 35 subs between them, who are the only people that will network with communist belief crowdsourcer, the bot swarmer. Fuck him. Yeah, Working Man was really good. I liked it. Working Man's also... Hey, guys, how do you hide $100 from Comic Relief Crusader? You put it under his work shoes. He'll never find it. You get it? His work shoes. You put it under his work shoes. All right, everybody. We love you all. Welcome to the crazy, most controversial, bot swarmed and insane show on YouTube. Maybe I'll come back later and make the bot master have to work overtime. I'm having fun time with this. Seems like we picked up a couple of new subscribers. We had people begging for mercy in the chat. We will not go so easy for your antagonistic friend. He needs to withdraw from the combat area. Obi-2, hell! We love Obi-2. Wrath of Kenobi, it's good to see you. It's too bad we're getting out of here, but the show is highly re-listenable at under 3 hours. We pulled it off. We managed to make a statement in under 180 minutes. Can you guys believe it? It's pretty funny. We did a pretty good show. Today we were relatively coherent. I think that we were on point today. I might just come back later though for the hell of it. I don't really know. We'll be back tomorrow for sure. Ooh, that baby. We'll be back tomorrow for sure. That's definitely AI. At 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do the next episode of Star Trek, and we'll probably Enterprise, and we'll probably try to pull in some other pop culture stuff and make it worth your while, because this is just kind of with the watch party, one episode at a time motif. Like most of the time, it's going to work out well, and when we get to the 3-episode stories, it'll work out well too. But this one this week, it's not like it's so much wrong with the episode. It's just that it's really just, there's not a lot of analysis to be done on it. We're not going to have an hour. So we're going to make sure to, give you some other stuff for your money's worth. And I thank you all. And yes, please do what Buddy Hepburn is saying. Yeah, I would be all in there too. Sydney Sweeney is all that. We like AI only accentuates her beauty. If only I would do anything to have AI Sydney Sweeney just appear here right now. Anyway, guys, we love you all, and I think what we need here maybe to end the show is probably a little more Sydney Sweeney, because and you know what, was just for the hell of it, one more time.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Thank you, Comic Relief Crusader, for that for those inspiring words. All right, guys, it's time for you to get some more Sydney Sweeney on the way out. We love you, and you are the best.
She was attacked by what appears to be essentially a robot.